live once again with Awaken with Beverli Rhodes, and we have the special guest, Big Homie himself, aka as we call him, God's Knuckle Duster, is here with us.
God's Knuckle Buster. Let's go. Let's go. Hello, everyone. Greetings.
So before we get started, we're going to just let YouTube do its thing and send out its algorithmic messages. It'll take about 10 minutes. We're just going to have a nice little chit chat, right? And then I know all of you want us to get to what happened last night, all of this stuff. And we've decided what we're going to do is once we've had a little chit chat, we're just going to let Big Homie tell his side of the story. And then Bev and I will come in with our bits. And then the wonderful, the ever pink Asria is going to dive in to Big Homie's Offworld DNA. And dude, I mean, listen, bro, I'm not going to lie. We went over mine a little bit, right? We went over mine a little bit. And you don't really get until it's yours and it hits you. You know, it's a wild one, bro. You're going to do a lot of staring at the floor and wall tonight. But before we get into that, right? But not to mention anything about last night. Since the last time we saw you, what's been happening? How are you? Like, fill us in on everything up to last night.
Okay, so I have been traveling around a lot, making a lot of appearances, doing a lot of interviews, appearing on podcasts. You know, we do a lot of charity work, you know, giving out toys and food to the underprivileged. So I went around asking certain people I worked with to help. That's been going good. I recently had dinner with Michael Franzese and his family out in California. You know, he's a,
interesting character.
He's an interesting character for sure. And he agreed to partner with me and help me on my crusade and me and my team. So you're going to see him and myself go into the field and actively combat human trafficking. So he's going to come on a retrieval with me and my team. And
that's a bad day for whatever human transporter it is.
Yeah.
You're sitting having your morning human transporter cup of hot beverage, right?
Yes, sir.
The birds are chirping. There's a knock at the door. There's Big Homie in a pizza delivery outfit, right? And inside the pizza box is one of those like cut down H&Ks, and then two cars pull up behind. The music kicks in. Wow, 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 wow. Wow, 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 wow. I'm freaking here for it, bro. I'm so here.
Yeah.
Anyway, carry on.
Right, so we got that lined up, and it's a lot of interesting events we got lined up. Just surging forward, you know, keep fighting the good fight. You know, standing on business, and just it's almost like I'm like a spiritual awakening for myself, really.
Yeah.
Over like the last
understatement.
Yeah. I can't stop smiling because it's just like, where would I be right now if I did not encounter the teams that I'm about to encounter, you know? And I always felt like there was a batch of lost knowledge from humanity. And this is something that I've been researching and studying for a long time. And, you know, I felt like it was a full circle moment to be able to go have dinner with Franzese and his family. And then I feel like it was a full circle moment when I encountered y'all, you know, because people used to say, man, Big Homie, you go talking about magic and crazy stuff again, you know? And it's like, now, you know, when I speak about these things, I know who to talk to. And I used to always wonder, like, man, how did I know that? And sometimes a voice would come into my head and tell me stuff. And, you know, I'm like, you know, I'm going to keep this to myself because, you know, I'm out here working with all these corporate medical professionals, stuff like that. They might try to say, you know, say I'm schizo or something like that. When it's like, this is not that. You feel me? Like, this is real world, real time awareness, you know. And you know, my homies always say, like, man, look, big homie put together the plan, then we can go. If he don't put the plan together, we're not going, because somehow he always know what's about to happen. Mm-hmm. So you know, like now I've been able to really get some answers. Like I feel different. Like my energy is a lot higher. Like, you know, my skin is like like glowing a little bit different. Like
fabulous. You're looking fabulous, as we say.
Yes, fabulous. Fabulous. Absolutely.
But it is. It's like a level up. I mean, this is how I describe it. Right?
Yes. That's accurate.
In the great experience bar of life, I feel like over the last couple of weeks, when we had our solo interview, Big Homie, I feel like we leveled up that night. And I feel like we leveled up again, because I swear to God, Ask Jaguar Right and our poor husband, after that night, man, I went on, no, that was after I met Marilyn. I went on that energy spike and just talked the ear off of Jaguar Right and her husband for about 20 minutes. Honest to God.
No doubt.
Unreal, man. It was unreal. Well, listen, we've got close to 2,500 out the door in under 10 minutes, right?
Let's go.
Why don't you start off with what happened last night? Tell us in your own words. Take your time. Don't rush. Go through the parts that are important to you, and then once you've told your end, obviously we'll continue on with ours. But if you're comfortable doing that, homie.
Absolutely. So you know, I always believe in having a certain level of transparency whenever I'm, you know, indulging in these conversations with high-level, high-thinking people. You know, these are topics I normally don't speak about, because, you know, I firmly believe there's a time and place for everything. Yeah. And you don't want certain information to go upon deaf ears simply because you're not saying what people are interested in or have an understanding of. Right. So, the month of December carries a lot of grief and mourning for myself, my team, my family, because for some reason we lost a lot of people in December, or their birthdays were in December. So, you know, I've really been grieving a lot. You know, I've been going through like a period of mourning, and, you know, I ended up in a recording studio, you know, making a tribute songs, you know, to some of our fallen comrades. You know, in my most recent Cam Capone interview, you know, I told people, you know, don't try to tell me how to operate, because, you know, my homies, my friends died over this. So you know, December 13th, as a close homie of ours, his name's Rail. His birthday was December 13th. Unfortunately, he passed away. He was shot and murdered. And to this day, we can't really track down who did it. You know, the city of Chicago paid his mother like $25,000 because he was pretty much assassinated on Chicago streets, and they can't track down who the person was. And, you know what we signed up for. We know that there's always going to be threats, that some we can mitigate, some we can't mitigate. And his birthday was on the 13th. So, you know, we've been mourning him. We've been paying tribute to him. And there's a gentleman who we would consider like a spiritual advisor. He told us, if you ever want to speak to your fallen, you need to do so at 2 a.m. According to him, 2 a.m. is dead time, where spirits are most active. So, you know, we listen to that. And at 2 a.m., I get like this weird pressure in my forehead. And then I get this weird nosebleed. Now, remember, Ron, I was sniffling and blowing my nose the entire time.
One second.
You still hear me?
You're back. Yeah, you're back.
Okay. Now, remember, I was sniffling and blowing my nose for like
You actually said in our solo interview that you had like flu-like symptoms for a while.
Bro, 27 days.
Yeah.
And up until yesterday I had them. And now today, like everything's just clear. Like that's great. That right there,
dude,
like,
that's weird, man.
That is weird. Like literally nothing. Like I mean,
it's not weird. We know what it is, but at this point in the story, because no one else knows it, that's fucking weird. You know what I'm saying? That is like
yeah. So this is a big moment for me because like now I can really verify. Like, look, there are aspects and elements that take place in our society that are indeed real. It's not just a fairy tale. And I'm going to be speaking out about this a lot and spreading awareness simply because the nosebleed happens. And I'm like, okay, it's a lot of blood right here. I don't really understand where it's coming from. Okay, so then I got a driver. Her name is Diana. Diana, her and I became cool because she had an ex who molested her daughter.
Mm-hmm.
She got arrested for putting a weapon to his head. She gets out. She calls us, and this guy fled to Mexico because there was certain pressure being applied to his existence. So he decided that he was gonna flee. So Diana always prays over me whenever she sees me. So she sees my nose bleeding and she's like, oh no, I'm gonna get you to the hospital. She gets me to the hospital. Well, before that, I go to the 7-Eleven. I start feeling a little weird. I get back into the vehicle. Seizure. I go black. I wake up, I go black. And it's like I was in a long hallway. But it was just a black, empty, long hallway, like with a very dim light in the distance. And it was crazy because it's like, man, where am I? Like, what's going on? Like, am I asleep? Then I hear a voice, like in the distance. And I felt like this sensation in my toes, into my fingertips, like to the top of my head, like electricity. And like someone was saying my name in a long hallway, and boom, then I was back. And I see my mom looking at me, and she's like, what's happening? Like, son, what just happened? What's going on? And I said, we need to get out of here. So then I finally get back to my phone and I'm texting Ron. And Ron is not 100% certain that he's even talking to me. He's not 100% certain that he even spoke to my mom. He's going through proof of life protocol. And so I'm like, okay, but I was looking so rough. And I'm like, okay, GPS says 8 minutes away from the house. He says, don't text or drive. I'm like, this guy. I love this guy. So my mom says, she says, son, I'm gonna drive. So there was a critical moment where Ron says, Bev sees a hand over your face. And Ron was thinking like, man, maybe I'm being held captive. But the thing was, I had a hot towel over my eye and I'm holding this on my face. So for Bev to see that was just like the most amazing thing ever. Like that right there was like, you know what? I'm going to tell everybody who will listen that they need to tap in. Because I'm like, what could be accomplished if all of the great, brilliant minds and empaths across the world were to assemble? And I think about this often because people reach out to me and say, you have made a change in the world. The fact that a lot of people didn't know that you existed, now that they know, there are a lot of people who are gaining strength and power and they want to come forward now. And like, you know, every day I get 5 or 6 calls on Instagram from different people, and they'll say a prayer or a protection over me and just hang up the phone. So, you know, this is a dive that is being taken, and I'm happy about it, because yesterday I learned that I really have been under a spiritual attack. Like the energies, the energies are real. Like there's things taking place that are really above my pay grade. Because in my last interview with Ron, when I seen that symbol, I was like, wait a second. I've seen that. I have seen that. And then people been hitting me up like, oh my God, big homie, I can't believe. They said, wait a second, you really didn't know? Because, you know, I'm not an internet person. You know, I only been on the internet for 6 months. Oh. That is it. You know, this is my 6th month on the internet doing interviews. Most of them are doing a lot of views. And people are finding out about a lot of different stuff. And I am here to say, because what would have happened to me? Where would I be? Because I was in dreamland. And I only had an experience like this one other time. And this was a month ago. It was a month ago. And my mom was telling people, like, look, they were asking her, have this happened before? She said, yeah, it's happened before, but only one time. And it was a month ago.
Was it right before you started sniffling?
Directly before I started sniffling.
Yeah, that was the start of it, man. That was the start of it. And the build up, you at your weakest, round about the December time when you're at your weakest. So from now on, that period of time, you go into the back cave, bro. Like you go in the room. Okay, you can take your lady, you can take the iPad, you'll be fine. You'll be fine. But seriously, that is a notable weakness in your armor. And that's the beauty of balance, okay, where the rest of the year you are an impenetrable force, but for that period of time, you may as well be a wounded little chicken, and one just pick you up and punt you off a bridge. Do you know what I mean?
No doubt.
So that's kind of mind blowing. We didn't know that. Well, I didn't know that last night, and that all kind of falls into place. But continue going if there's anything else you want to add to your side of this, big homie.
Right. So I want to say I made a post, and I had made a post about myself and Franzese meeting up. And the post was stuck on 666 likes for like 2 days. I screenshotted this and I'll send it to you. I'm like, man, why is my post stuck on this? So then I would click like on it myself, and I go to 667 and then go back to 666. So I'm looking like, So I screenshotted that and I made a post. I say, why is my post stuck on this number? People come through. I've been trying to tell you, in the spiritual world, there are people trying to grab your soul and you're under attack. You need to say this ritual. I'm like, look, you know.
Stop fearing the signs. What if that was stuck there because 666 is such a profound way to recognize demonic anything, and one of your guides put it there to warn you? Okay, right. Do you see what I'm saying? There's too much dwelling on finer points here. Did you see what I mean? You
right.
Don't get lost on them, because a lot of misinterpretation can happen, and we default to what we've been conditioned to think.
Yeah. So very, very valiant point you just made, sir. Shout out to Ron. I will take this gentleman out for a pint eventually. Even if I have to, I'm going to fly there because.
Good. We're waiting for you.
Yes, because this is a profound moment in my life, because I always knew these type of things were active and real. And remember when I told you I was going to go see the father at the church? I explained to him certain things going on. He says, young man, come out to the car with me.
Oh.
So we go out to his car. He pulls out a pack of cigarettes. He lights a cigarette. He said, listen, I fell in love with my indoctrination and my job. I like what I do. I like doing the Lord's work. Nevertheless, there are other forces and other good energies and realms that exist. I'm not going to say it inside of there because some people inside of the church can only think one way. The path that you are on, you need to accept all of the help that's coming to you. He said, because I'm sure that Miss Beverly prays the same way that I pray. And for him to give me like that seal of approval, even though some of his peers may have disagreed with him, simply because when he said to me that he fell in love with his indoctrination and he likes what he does, he pretty much just told me like, look, what you do and what your friends do is very real. It should be taken very seriously. I'll talk to you about this outside of this building simply because, bro, I'm a giant, bro. I'm 6'6", I'm 400 pounds. I'm always clad in black with a hoodie and shades on. So, when I walk into the church, it's a lot of oohs and ahs. People want to see what's going on. So, he always would tell me, look, call me before you get here. So people can call me before you get here. So when he asked me to step outside and talk, he said, he pretty much just told me that what's going on is a real thing. And it's just that everyone isn't open-minded enough to accept it. But to come from that guy, he got salt and pepper hair. I think he's like, he's the same age as my mom. Because my mom was born January 4th, 1962. So him and her have the same birthday. So,
dude, if this is the movie, that's you going to your like grandmaster and asking to go, because as it goes against the teachings, right? I'm telling you.
Exactly. And so for me, what you just said right now, previously, I would never have no one to speak about this with, because my homies, my friends, these guys are gargoyles. It's like, they don't even care about money. You feel me? Like, as long as I'm safe and like we go out, we do our retrievals, that's all that matters to them. If I try to talk to them about their alien DNA, they're gonna say, big bro. Listen, we like all of that. Can you please just order us up some chicken and bring some beers in here? That's what they're gonna request. So it's kind of, so some of them are watching right now though. So it's kind of like, because I explained to them, I'm like, bro, I'm in there celebrating real birthday, and then this and this and this happened. So bringing that type of stuff up, they said they were gonna watch. So shout out to the guys in the comments watching. And yeah, so I had a pretty harrowing experience yesterday. Thank you to the team, because I don't know where I would be if Ron didn't get that feeling and then assemble the United Army. Otherwise, I don't know. And I can't stop smiling right now because I feel so much better. I've been so sick. For so many days. Like, it was starting to weigh on my energy. I'm just like, I'm dragging. And my mom was so concerned. So last night, my mom called and said, son, she texted me. She said, son, I'm getting a bad feeling. Something's going to happen to you. And then my girlfriend, Natalie, said, so we stand in the house all night because I don't want, right. And then I talked to Ron. He says, he showed me a coin and he asked, is something terrible going to happen to Big Homie tonight? And it said yes. So the fact that he told me that, these type of things excite me because, I'm at my best and I'm most comfortable in a warlike setting.
Yeah.
But in order to be an adequate soldier, you got to have adequate information.
Yeah.
now I'm able to garner the type of information I need to be able to battle in the certain realms that I wasn't all the way privy to.
Of course.
So now, I got backup now. And, this is reinvigorated me, I must say. I'm thankful for y'all, pretty crazy experience. And I wanna go ahead and get y'all the floor for sure.
Well, I just want to say, big homie, thank you very much. Hearing your side, I just want to throw this to Bev, because before we go into our side, like, there's so many things, right? That when Big Homie tells his story, and when we start bringing our pieces together, I think people are going to get a better feel for why Big Homie's so kind of blown away by all of this. And here's how it played out from how it started, right? We were online, Bev and I, and Julia and John. Someone in the side chat, right, turned right. Big Homie, I'm going to mute your mic just for the background noise just now. Someone in the side chat said, "Hey, can you ask about Big Homie?" And I'd spoken to Big Homie through text about 3 hours before this. So I was like, everything's good, everything's great, don't worry. And then for no reason at all, out of nowhere, I get a message that says he's in a bad way. He's had a seizure, right? And I'm like, what is happening right now? And then it says it's his mum. And I'm like, this is the most, like, he's been kidnapped by the cartel. Someone's got his phone and they're trying to like make sure that, people that are going to be looking for him get fed a story. So my alarm bells are ringing. So I said, hey, do you mind if I phone you? Right. And I'll be honest with you, it wouldn't matter if I believed it was Big Homie's mum. I'm not going to, in a situation like this, I'm not going to believe anything anyone tells me. So, very nice lady. I had to just make sure that she felt like I was a trustable individual, and that's what I did. I got off the phone and I phoned Jaguar and her husband. And I said to them, listen, I need you to phone Big Homie as if you're just phoning out the blue. And if anyone else answers, just ask what's going on, all the rest of it. So they started doing that. Then found out that there's the possibility of someone checking on Big Homie at home. So I come back to the computer, right? And I sit down and I look again at the messages from Big Homie's mum. And it was like the whole right-hand side of my body felt like an anxiety attack, but without the anxiety, like butterflies all over my body, and then rippling heat, right? But rippling heat, that it wasn't comforting, it wasn't discomforting. It was like, if you didn't act now, the heat's going to get hotter. So I just felt this overwhelming rush to get Beverli, right? Went on the stream, pulled Beverli out the stream, explained everything, and Beverli went into what she does. And after getting that red alert, I handed over to Bev. And up until what I'd like to do now is just sort of go through with Bev what happened next, and she can tell us from when she came in, and then we'll go from the next section. But Bev, yeah, so I pulled you off the live stream. You started getting concerned because you couldn't just automatically zone in. So go from there, because I've never seen you with not a panic face, not a worried face, but anything.
The working face, which is why I brought you said working face coming.
No, not the working face. Before all that happened, just as you came off the podcast, in your regular Beverli-ness essence, you just, for a split second, the calm and serene face changed. Like, I seen the urgency, and it was like, oh no. So at that moment, take us through your end.
So at that time, by the time you saw the worried face, I'd already gone in 3 times to Homie to go and see if I could get there's some sort of an energy out of him. And that's when I saw the hand, but then I also saw him sliding. And then I realized, he's down that tunnel. He's down the tunnel. And that's when I said to you, I've got to pull him out. I've got to pull him out. I know where he is. I've got to pull him out. And that's when I then went and co-located and grabbed him and then shouted like hell. Really the strongest I've ever done. And said, come back here. Now. Come back here right now, this minute. Yeah. And really gave him what for. And I think that was part of that. And I could see that he was sort of half and half. And I said, no, this is not happening. Not happening. We're gonna start pulling him back. And he turned around and he looked at me as if to say, who's this cheeky one? Why is she doing? Why is she shouting at me like this? For goodness sake! And I said, right, come on, let's go. And that's when that white light came, and then I pushed him. pushed him straight back into his body, and that's what happened at the time. And that's when I said we're going to have to close up, get him back, move him out, and then get him to somewhere that's safe so that they can't get to him.
Well, if you think that's at all, it doesn't end there. No. So what Bev just told you there was a part, let's say two-thirds of the way through Bev's story, where she phoned me and she's doing what she's doing, and I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just like, third eye, fire the third eye energy. Don't go panic mode. So then I went back to the computer, and Bev and Big Homie, I swear to God, simultaneously, Bev said, I've got him. And Big Homie's mum said, he's just set up and he's talking. And then the next message was Bev saying something that was almost what the next thing was being said. And then it just went like this. And I'm sitting there, right? And you've got to understand, I'm really good at keeping my cool and processing everything, right? But I was fanboying out during the red alert, right? So they're typing all of this. And then that's when Bev went back on the podcast, and I went into, I need to see the video call. That's where we're up to in Big Homie's story, where I needed to see the video call. Now, he did video call me, and I will say I know Big Homie's secret. He has a 4-foot red mohawk, and he wears a bald cap, okay? And I'm just telling you right now, that is Big Homie's secret, so it's out now. But I'm telling you now, I have never in my life, we were just talking about how you have to act. The minute the doubt sinks in with magic, it goes, right? You have to act. And that's what I did. But here's the next thing. The reason that I rushed Bev off, right, was I pulled a card for Big Homie. And that card was grief. Now, after hearing about his brothers, it makes sense, right?
Yeah, it does.
Listen to the first two. This is all I read before I pulled you off. They have funerals and gather solemnly around their fallen friends. That was when I just pulled you off the podcast right there and then. Because the grief card was relevant to his feelings, but those two lines were the guided warning that I needed. Because I'm going to be honest with you, I have a coin and I hate this coin, right? This coin is covered in rust and it has yes and no on it. To me, this is one of the most brutal and powerful tools I have because there's no room for interpretation. Okay. Yeah. And it has never been wrong, and I hate it. And I spun this for Big Homie last night, and I asked, I can't remember if it was is or was Big Homie in danger tonight, and it came up as yes. Then we found out that Big Homie was getting on a plane, right? And we all decided to do our thing. Also, as well, can I just say, there's nothing funny about protection spells, but when your picture of Big Homie on the altar, right, where he's like it's so good. It's so good. It's so good. Like it's so good. So all I can do is send Alan, right? So I've sent Alan out and put an incantation and a spell with Alan that if anyone tries to hurt Homie, that is tenfold reflected back and inflicted on their flesh and bone. And it was weird because I've never done that before. And it was like as if I was holding Alan on the left and Homie was holding him on the right, because I send out from the left and receive from the right. And yeah, that was that. I had a very interesting sleep. And then when Homie messaged me and said that he'd landed and he was safe, it was like I felt whole again. It was nice. But what in the living, like, listen, I'm going to be honest with you all. All of this is real. None of this is nonsense.
No, sadly not nonsense.
Effectively, I got a warning. Why did your mum message me? That's another thing. Of all the people in your phone, why did she message me?
This was because I told her that I had to do an interview with you, but I told her that yesterday. I told her that the day before, but she said she didn't. She said she didn't even know why. She just said that something told her that she needs to message you in particular. And I always wear a hoodie. You feel me? I like hoodies. I always wear a hoodie. And when I was in the airport, I'm like, man, I just feel like there's somebody always walking behind me or like watching me. So I would keep my hoodie down. So I'm keeping my hoodie down. And it got to the point where I said, you know what? I'm just going to stand up against this wall right here. So I plug in my phone in a little port on the wall, and I'm just standing up against the wall. And I was like, man, what is going on? Like, why do I feel like... And then he didn't tell me about Alan until today. He didn't tell me about that until today. So I'm in the airport kind of freaking out, like, what they do? Because, you know...
I mean, I did message you last night, but obviously you never got them until or whatever. But yeah, I'll always let you know. But it's up to you to read the message. So you're right. And check your DMs.
Right. Well, I didn't know anything about Alan until
later.
Yeah. So I'm like, man, what? This is not fake. And, you know, I want people to understand something.
That all happens.
You know, I'm a very serious person, you know. There have been several attempts on my life. You feel me? I sent Ron and I sent him footage of this. You feel? So, you know, I'm somebody who has been proven I'm hard to kill in the physical world. Because there's no such thing as tough. There's either trained or untrained.
True.
And you know, in the world that I operate in, I'm a highly trained individual, you know, and, you know, I'm somebody you might have to poison. I've been poisoned.
Do you know why you did that, big homie?
Why?
You felt compelled to prove that you're not an easy target when
for sure
you've been taken out by something you've never experienced before. And your default was almost to defend your own honor.
Right? Absolutely.
And just as long as you know, it was never necessary. But that to me is what I got from you. And it was, and I'll tell you something, man, like you're looking fantastic compared to the interview, compared to...
Very shiny. Very, very shiny. And I'm sorry I had to shout at you because I know you saw me.
I swear to God, on my grandmother's life, I saw you, but it was like you were far away, but I heard you so loud.
Screaming at you.
Yes, and I opened my eyes and I sat up. I see my mom, and she's like, "Keith, what is going on?" I'm like, "Mom, we gotta get out of here." She's like, "Well, you gotta get the IV out your arm." So while Ron is telling me, "Listen, dude, you motherfucker, you have to call me right now. If not, I need to see your face." So I'm like, okay, hold on, I don't want to call right now. I got the stuff in my nose. I got.
You did it, bro. You did it. Like, honestly, there's probably a handful of people that have seen you in a vulnerable position like that. And you did it. You did it because you knew this was proof of life scenario. And I'm freaking out.
Yes. And I got to follow protocol. So, yeah.
You do. That's it.
Yeah.
Got to. Yeah.
Like, I can't stop smiling because I seen myself yesterday and I was like, yo, even at the last interview, I was looking rough, bro. Like, I'm like, yo, like I'm blowing my nose. I was sick for 27 days.
Yeah, well, we know now after the show, give us the rough date this started so that we can plan for next year and you need to walk around all of this.
Get ready.
I'm going to be prepared.
Time for you to come to Scotland and visit us all, it's probably then, and we'll just go and sit collectively in a stone circle and eat steaks and watch stuff on our tablets until the that chill out period. Do you know what I mean?
I am 100% down for that, and I want everybody that's watching this to know I am not a person who's going to ever invent or embellish information. I'm only going to speak on things that I can confirm to be facts. And I want everybody to know that I hear you. I want everybody to know that this queen, this eternal being up here, this guy, I can vouch. This information, this has changed my life. This has changed how I approach things because I've been in more shootouts than guys been on dates. I'm somebody that there are groups of collectives of dark people who I know. If they know that I'm outside, I know they think about me at night. I know that they know that at any given time they might have to encounter me. I know that I'm somebody who have survived attempts. I've seen my own blood. I've caused bloodshed. I never harmed anybody who did not deserve it. I never operated out of callous. I never done anything maliciously. But I know that in order for a man to combat evil, he must be able to enact evil at times. And I always wanted I wanted the guys who thought it was funny to gang rape women. I wanted them to feel the same level of terror. There was a situation where there was a gentleman.
Careful with the words. Careful with the words you use. Remember, this is YouTube.
Yes, pardon me.
Like and subscribe. Right. Like and subscribe.
Okay, absolutely. I'm going to watch my language here. I'm going to speak as eloquently as possible. There was a situation that was brought to us where there was a lady who had cameras inside of her home. She was dating a man, and while she was at work, she decided to randomly check the camera feed, and she said she heard rhythmic smacks, and she heard her daughter screaming for Jesus.
Oh.
What?
Right. So
that's a ask questions later scenario.
So the only people at her house is her new boyfriend and her 13-year-old daughter.
Wow.
On the camera, she says she heard rhythmic smacks and her daughter screaming and crying out for Jesus to help her and save her. We all know what those rhythmic smacks were.
Mm-hmm. We do.
There's a SA taking place at this point.
Mm-hmm.
This gentleman was brought under scrutiny.
Good.
And I've looked into several men's eyes when they thought they were about to perish. And this gentleman cried out for Jesus. And shout out Big Dugar. Dugar said to him, he said, bro, that little girl was crying out for Jesus too. So unfortunately for you, he's not coming here today. And this gentleman was relieved of a few molars.
Yeah, he made it to the bag. He made it to the bag.
Yeah, he made it to the bag. So once those molars were removed out of his jawline, and
by a professional medical dentist YouTube algorithm, just so you know.
Yeah, dentist.
This is a story about when Big Homie was interning as a dental nurse. Carry on, Big Homie.
Dentist. Yeah, here we go.
So there's a gentleman I know by the name of Luis Elizondo, and Luis Elizondo ran the U.S. government's torture program at Guantanamo Bay.
He did.
They actually put warrants out for him in the UK because they called him the Darth Vader of the military. And one thing I learned was, when someone is under a certain level of scrutiny, you have to provide relief. And during those moments of relief, that's when they're going to tell you all of the other terrible things they've done. And you learn a lot about people when they're under extreme levels of duress. Now, those molars that were removed from this gentleman by medical professionals, those are on a little necklace, and that lady's daughter, that young lady's mother wears that necklace daily with those molars on it. And I thought to myself, I said, is this going to be the last time that I get to make sure a little lady gets some vengeance because someone enacted a level of evil upon her? And when she called the police, they didn't believe her. She told her family. They said she was crazy. And people just like Beverly, people like Ron, get treated the same way in society. Oh, she's a kook. Oh, he's crazy. Don't believe anything they say. Oh, that stuff they talking about is witchcraft. That's the parallel with what I do and entering into this world.
Yeah.
That's the parallel, because if I didn't have this experience and I just went and told people this, they would say you're crazy. Oh, we don't believe you. Why is that?
Yeah.
In any courtroom in the world, eyewitness testimony and circumstantial evidence is enough to give somebody a life sentence. But when we speak amongst our peers, everything gets questioned. Oh, that's crazy. That can't possibly exist. But we know oxygen exists and we can't see it. We know we can't live it up.
Yeah. See, this is the thing. When it comes to talking to those who doubt what we're about to speak of, homie, it's important that we put it in a way that they can absorb. That's why I talk about movies a lot, and I talk about, comparing us to a Dungeons and Dragons, dungeon raid team and all this kind of stuff, because it's processing. It's easy for people to process. But what I will say to you is, there's those who are open and those who aren't, and there's so much to be done. You will not be able to enlighten them all.
No. Absolutely. Well put.
And I just want to say as well, I'm a tiny little baby learning all of this.
No doubt.
I'm one of those Amazon attack alarms for a big homie on a spiritual sense.
Looks like it. Absolutely. Really, you did good. You did good.
You did great.
Yeah,
Beverly was the one who done all the heavy lifting, who done all the real stuff. And, for me, it's witchcraft. For Beverli and Asria, I wouldn't just throw them under that. And you know what's interesting, big homie, right?
Yes.
When you see, when you talk to people, they say these things. For me, I'm the opposite, right? Because
okay.
You know how you talk about human transportation, and within 5 minutes, people are convinced of the sincerity of human transportation?
Yes.
That's how I speak of this stuff. And you're just at the beginning, man. And I've been trying to convince people I've been a lost soul in a magical buffet, not knowing what I'm doing. And now it's like binoculars being put into focus on certain things.
Absolutely.
I'm nearly on a journey. And I just want to say to Beverli, to Asria, to Marilyn, to Danny, to all of these highly tuned human beings, I just want to say thank you for everything you've taught me so far, how you've helped me. But you've also done it in a way where you're letting me walk my own path, and then I sort of come running back to you and go, look what I've discovered, and you kind of confirm it for me. And that for me is way more important than any kind of, I don't want to be taught anything. I want to have confirmation of what I'm finding, because then it's a journey, if that makes sense.
Of course. And it's experiencing, and that's what you're doing. You're learning in various steps. And I think that everyone is doing extremely well. The awakening is happening. It's upon us. Everybody is at their own various levels, and everyone is just expanding at a rate of knots. And it can't help but let you just smile that it's just all there, which is fantastic.
Well, here's an interesting one, Big Homie. So last week we had Marilyn on, and we were talking about residual energy within, so for example, videos. Now, when we think about a spell book from Dungeons and Dragons, right? So you've got the spellcaster, flicks to a page, starts reading the spell. So imagine instead of the spellcaster being on your dungeon run, you've got YouTube playlists that are private, that are for if you're about to enter a house, and you've got Marilyn doing her freaking
amazing stuff.
Good. Listen, it's called Huna. It's called Huna. And it's purely healing. It's one of those things that you just don't question it, because it was the maddest experience of my. It was almost like you're drinking like imagine just drinking a whole pile of energy drink all at once, and it just going bang. That's what it was after she's done this. And she's doing all this stuff on the screen, and she's doing her breathing, and everything that is happening is calculated and precise, and all of this, and it was wild. So imagine over time you sort of say, right, okay, so there was a situation I was in where I could have used this or that. Now, I'm not saying, right, invisibility is possible, but coincidence where everyone who could see you getting distracted just for a moment, just going like this as you walk past the street this way, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Something I think would be interesting to play around with, because making people not notice you is what I want to try and play around with. Because if I'm as just in tune with the little people that are on the elemental plane, they can be buzzing past someone's face where they sort of turn like this while you're walking. There's a lot of interesting metaphorically speaking, contractual processes to do in my brain, because I'm excited when I'm learning the clairvoyance and pulling things out of people's heads, or they're projecting them into mine. My end game is to be able to put things in people's minds. So
no doubt.
That's the end game. I see us all on a
journey.
No. I'm thinking the end game. I'm thinking the final quest. That's what I'm thinking. So yeah, but listen, that is the Big Homie story. I want you all to put a 1 in the side chat if you're a believer. I want you to put a 2 in the side chat if you weren't a believer, but then you heard Big Homie talking about this and now you're a believer. Put a 3 in the side chat if you're very respectfully not a believer. And if you're not a believer, instead of sitting there going, I don't believe you, negative projection, start doing this. I believe that they believe this. I'm okay with that. Believe in us and our belief in this. And that is a positive projection.
It is.
But you know who has been very patient for the last 48 hours or 24 hours?
It's our Asria.
And I just want to say, when it comes to the off-world DNA and everything that's about to happen, this is Asria, okay? I know it's Beverli Show. I'm the humble co-host, the Padawan, but Asria is a whole different supernatural. How would you describe it, Asria? How do you define your talents? Because I mean, I'm just say I'm a witch and a magic. How do you pigeonhole yourself for society?
Pigeonhole.
Okay. I would follow on from everything that you guys have been talking about in regards to frequencies and energies, and I work with energies in a different way. The same with Marilyn worked with energies in one way. I work with energies and frequencies in another way. So it's being able to tune in. And with me, I just use various different tools as well as channeling to do that. I think from that would,
I
So
feel
that
like
would be
you're
my
this.
way of
I feel
explaining
like you're a cosmic scientist. That's the vibe I get.
Oh,
So
nice.
That's
you've
the
got-
first
Scientist.
time I've been
you've
called a
got your,
scientist.
like you've got,
Love
like, so
it.
for example, right? Like, when, like, you know how if this was just like a radio you were building, right? And you're tinkering away and you're trying to get that to work, but it's not. It's a freaking cosmic device. And I just get that vibe, and I'm just so here for it all, and I'm just so excited by everything. And I just wanted to make sure everyone knows, okay, everything that's about to happen now, this is all Asria's bag, okay? This is all her wheelhouse. There's no, hey, Ron, do you know anyone else that can do this? No. Why not? Because Asria tinkering with the space unicorn. I don't know what you call it, but it's the unicorn horn now. I'm too crazy to remember what it is.
Redefined.
What
Yeah.
can you introduce Big Homie to yourself, to your talent, to your tools, to your skills? Just before we look at that smile, he is the kid in the sweet shop.
Legit
Give us-
for sure.
Give us your cosmic CV, if you will, for Big Homie, just to sort of wet his whistle, if you would.
Yeah, absolutely. But no, it's an absolute honor and a pleasure being able to be on here with you and to be able to read you as well, Big Homie. So thank you so much for giving me the time to do that. Yeah, I won't take up too much time and to go through my my back history, but very much I have been for your information, Big Homie. It's the case of I have been working and knowing about spirits, off-worlders, energies ever since the age of 5, maybe even beforehand, and I've been working with them my whole life non-stop. So to me, working with different energies, beings, off-worlders is my normality, and I've been absolutely blessed from a young age to be able to do that, say that, and have had some amazing teachers and people in my life to be able to guide me through these processes, as well, to be able to get to a point where I could directly channel and speak with my off-worlders in order to bring this particular unicorn horn in onto the planet, because obviously off-worlders use very, very different technology to us, and there is some amazing people on this planet at the moment bringing some of those technologies through. So with as I said, I've been working with my guides for a very long time now. And one of the things that I wanted to know is how can I visualize the energies that and the frequencies, that I'm getting through. So when I tune in, it's kind of like, not only because I'm quite a visual person, so when I channel, it just comes straight out, and once it's out, it's gone. But I thought if there is a particular way in order to visually show the frequencies that I'm picking up. And after it's taken 2-3 years for the unicorn horn, well, it was called the unifier, because it does unify. It brings in the person's energy, the DNA, and the channeling message all together in order to provide that information to the individual. It's taken about 2 to 3 years to working on it, to understanding the different frequencies of the different beings, to understand what those beings feel like. Some of the times I can see them if they step forward, and also what the movements of the unifier, what do they represent? Anyway, I'm probably going down a slight rabbit hole with all that information, but it has taken a long time. I'm working with my guides and working with Beverli, etc., to really pull and understand how this works. And it was only when I kind of got to a particular point that I was told, you just need to get this out there, because falling on from what Ron was saying there and Beverli was saying there, the awakening has happened. So people are asking the questions. Star beings are starting to become more in our vocabulary. Frequencies, energies are starting to become more in our vocabulary. I mean, I've been I said, doing this 20, 30 years now. And it wasn't necessarily the same back then, and very much feeding off from what Ron was saying earlier. I mean, I've started mentioning energies back in 80s, 90s, and people thought I was cuckoo.
Yeah. I just want to just reiterate very quickly. We collectively nicknamed your incredible tool the unicorn horn. So I just want to make it clear, at no point has Asria come to us in any way and said, I'm using a unicorn horn. Okay. This is because I'm now actually seeing the counter intuity of rebranding it like that, because I just want to make it clear, we call it that as a community. This has never been sold as a unicorn horn. It looks like one. I just want to make that clear. Big homies, friends who are listening, it's not a unicorn horn. Okay.
The unifier. It's called the unifier. That's what it's called. That's what's on the report. You'll see on the front of the report it says the star DNA with the unifier, because that's the energetics that are moving through it.
It doesn't matter what it's called. It looks like a unicorn horn. It doesn't matter what it's called. It looks like a unicorn horn. Okay, I'm just saying. Okay, carry on.
Okay.
Yeah, very much so. So it brings into that unification of the DNA frequency. It brings into the unification of the channeled messages that are coming through, and the energies of that person as well. So I'm hoping that gives you and the wonderful viewers who may not have seen me before a little bit of a background on not only me, what I do, and thank you for that input as well, Ron, but indeed the unicorn horn stroke unifier as well. But it has been an absolute love of mine over, as I said, the past couple of years, to not only working with the 25 beings who are with me, and as I said, depending on what energies and frequencies we pick up through the DNA, sometimes step forward with various messages, but as I said, with my guides as well, knowing how that works and being able to pick up again on those frequencies and energies.
Fantastic.
Thank you.
Okay, big homie.
So who's got the first page? Shall I open the first page?
No,
or have you got the first page, Asria?
Yeah, I just wanted to ask Big Homie, any questions before we start, Big Homie?
No. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
You're frozen. You're frozen a little bit. Let's fix that before we go into this, bro. You might need to drop in and drop out because you're frozen. Try turning your cam on and off.
All right. How about now?
Oh, as it is done as well. I believe we are receiving interference. Oh, and Big Homie's gone. He will return. Trust us on that. I just want to take this opportunity very quickly. Guys, like and subscribe. Share. Like and subscribe. These two incredible ladies have websites where they offer all of their gifts for those who may need them. The websites are on display here. And Beverli, we've got a big night planned. And do you just want to just shamelessly plug it whilst we're here for Big Homie?
Yes, well, we've got on Wednesday, we've got a very large international panel from all over the place, which is great. And we're going to be discussing the drone situation. We're going to be discussing UFO disclosure. And we've got Danny Henderson, Elena Danan, Antonio Rodriguez, and
wait. We've got Elena Danan. That's Danny's lady, right? That's her. That's the lady she spoke of, right? That right. Well, listen, can we start earlier, because I'm going to derail this for at least we need to add on at least 40 minutes for me to lose my mind worth of wrong. Okay. So,
and then Sunday we're working with our lovely Marilyn Devonish, where we're doing the Huna push of the energies, and we're doing a special energy boost and frequency boost. So you're going to get double energy boost on Sunday, this Sunday coming, the 22nd of December, in time for Christmas, in that time for the festive period. We're going to get all that energy out there, which is going to be great.
Now, what Ron's going to do as well is he's not going to gatekeep anything, but he's going to create a playlist. So, for example, when the ladies are doing their incredible talents that are going to be residual in the videos, I'll clip them down into the individual parts. I'll make a little playlist. We'll put the titles of what these things do. And what I'd like to do is make it public on the Discord for people to apply to their lives. And then we're going to do a data-driven analysis of the users of these things and how they feel and all the rest of it. Because I'm all about data. And if we can get this, because I know it's working, because if we're all frequency, and I'm just going to give you the dumbass version of this. So if we're all frequency, we're all connected. It's just how we interpret the world stunts our ability to believe this, right? So I am on the same frequency as everyone else's thoughts and minds. We're all just kind of like drifting, and again, I'm too dumb to know what I'm talking about, drifting through whatever, universe, cosmos, dimension, whatever. And it's about learning how to channel each other through those frequencies, and it's so clear to me now. It's now just discovering the learning process. Big Homie has returned. Now listen, Big Homie.
Here we go.
I know for a fact you've got no question, because where would you even begin with a question? So what we're going to do, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to bring up Big Homie's offworld DNA. I'm going to mute him because his mic is basically from
Making
1992.
funny noises.
And
Take a big breath. Take a big breath, Big Homie.
Yeah.
Be prepared to have your socks absolutely knocked off, and then a lot more is going to make a lot more sense. Especially there's one in there that's the first time we've actually picked this one up. So isn't it?
So it's the first time y'all ever picked this one up.
There was one. It's the first time we've ever seen this one. We know of them, we've seen them, but it's the first time ever that this one has ever come up in a session, in a report in 3 years.
Do you have any idea when the ladies, when they contacted me, they sounded like me during one of Bev and I's shows. And I have not looked. I've had this since you done it, Asria. And I've looked at nothing. It has been so hard not to look at this and find out what.
Very good. You are very good. But now get prepared, because you're going to go mad. Go on, take it away.
So thank you very much. So there's one or two on here. So normally when I use the unifier and start going through the list, it's normally about 32 beings that are on there at the moment. That I go through, but there is one at the bottom that we were trying to pick up, and after a few tries we identified who it was, so that was fantastic. I would like to add one thing in there, before we move down to the next page, if that's okay, is that when Ron and Beverli gave me Big Homie's full name and date of birth, I had no idea. I literally had no idea it was you, Big Homie. I was reading and genuinely had no idea. The other thing I'd like to just add before we go on to the actual beings is that even though I trusted that the approval was given, because again, with any energy work, you have to make sure that that person, because remember there's free will, that person is agreeing for me, Asria, to go in and, as I said, send my little probe in, as it were, to go, right, what is your DNA? What are the frequencies we're picking up there? And it did actually take me quite a long time to go through. It's like an onion. It did take me a while to actually go through the different layers, because where you are very much a protective being, and it was very similar to Ron as well. So every single layer I had to say, I'm Asria, this is what I'm doing, it's okay, and sort of work with your guides as well to say this is okay to do. So I just really wanted to kind of set the scene before we go any further. So over to you, Ron.
Okay, Asria,
go on to the next page.
Big Homie, you ready for this, bro? Right now, keep in mind, I'm going to have to mute you because I'm going to be reading, right?
All right.
Just get ready for this.
And what we've done, we've taken the top 5 main areas in the bullets so that it's easier to read, and you'll be able to see them, read them, and go for it.
Also, as well, for legal reasons, this is just for entertainment. Okay, there's, as you heard earlier, there's definitely nothing to this, and we're just a bunch of kooks, right? Okay, let's begin. So
well done, Ron.
Get ready, right? So here we're into your DNA breakdown. The dominant DNA. What is going on here?
Okay, so we've got terrors in there, we've got naggers in there, we've got the amazing felines, so the cat race. Those were the three main ones. But the terrors we've had before.
We have.
But there's a secondary being in there as well. So, but then we've got the ones that were detected. So you've got your Nordics, your Mantis, your Alpha Draconians, and you've got your Venusian. So there's a little bit, a couple of similarities in there as well. Okay. So yeah, if we want to go down a little bit more, that would be fantastic.
No, I need to ask a question. So these are really chunky results. Like, so whereas we had the second and third with some people, is this like proverbial slap in the face from a DNA point of view? Is this like
pretty much
how this cocktail's made? Don't mess it up. It's an
absolutely. Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to stop now. We're moving on.
Yeah, no, these in their own right, these are very, very powerful beings. But these guys, as Bev said, stop there. These guys, the Hyperborean, and it says on there. So after we'd done the reading, there was another being coming through, and we took a while to pick it up. And these guys very, very much work with you. Are super light beings. As I said, we haven't seen them, but we heard of them, but just have not seen them, or not seen necessarily, but felt. There was a different feeling that was around, like the whole time, the whole reading. As soon as I kind of like made my way into you in the nicest possible way, there was this really kind of very warm feeling.
Oh, homie, what you like?
We haven't even gone into the reading fully yet, by the way.
No, but this is the biggie. This is the big one. Yeah, and this is the one that protects you. You see, and this is the one that when you said the voice was coming through, this is the people.
These are them.
These are them.
So, is this possibly who came on my right side? That didn't sound right. Is this possibly who was on my right side and
was also going into Homie when Homie was saying, you know, when he was told that there was something specific that he needed to get out of there because of the ambush, it would have been them.
Yeah. So these guys, as I put on there, are pure consciousness. There's no DNA.
Right there.
Are you okay, Big Homie?
Okay. This is overwhelming because I never knew anything about this. When I explained to Ron and Beverly that sometimes in times of peril that a voice will come into my head and tell me I was on the brink of getting ambushed. I'm sitting on a couch, sitting next to an automatic rifle, semi-automatic rifle. I'm in a state of paranoia. There's a bounty on my life right now for $50,000 because some people wanted to retaliate because a guy named Kenny, who's a piece of trash, got his teeth knocked out because he thought it was funny to make a video of an underage lady trying on bathing suits and put it on the internet. He thought it was funny.
Everyone type Kenny sucks in the side chat, please. Kenny sucks.
And listen, I see all of these comments as well. And listen, I want to tell everybody that I am flattered. Big homie holler at me. I need protection with the hard eyes. It's okay. All right. Thank you all. But this right here, this is just an astonishing moment for me seeing that because
dude, this is just the tip. The tip's just gone in, bro.
Man.
This is nothing. This is. We're only like this is. We're teasing you here. This is. Bro, sit the frick back. Go and get some cocoa. You need a. You need a.
He's not having cocoa. He's having a whiskey.
Oh, bro, listen. I'm loving where we're going, but bro, bro. Carry on.
First time ever. Go for it, Asria.
Thank you, Asria. Thank you. I just had to say that. You please.
Hell yeah, you did. Hell yeah. You did.
No, when there's confirmation like that it makes all of this worthwhile. So no, thank you. So yeah, please, Ron, continue to the terrors, the next one. So as Beverly said before, I've kind of broken it down into 5 separate steps. So we don't necessarily like have to read through it because there's an awful lot to bring up here. But excuse me, these dudes, as I've put in here, all of the literacy that I've read about them, they say they're between 5 and 7 foot tall. Not the ones that appeared in my living room. They were about 10 foot. I mean, I know I'm short. I'm really short. Okay, so anything above probably about 4 foot is tall for me. So, but these guys are.
Do you want me to read this? Let me read this. I just want to say I will get to everyone's super chats. Okay. And we're all geeking out right now. Okay. Just relax. We're going to get to question time at the end. All right. Everyone's going to get a chance. Okay. A lineage of profound wisdom, justice, and higher purpose, described as standing 5 to 7 foot tall in some accounts, but channeling as towering, majestic presences exceeding 10 feet in height. Speak only what is vital. Oh my God. Instills a deep sense of purpose and communication. Like these beings, you choose your words with care, often preferring telepathic-like understanding over unnecessary conversation. You speak when it is essential, sharing only what holds truth and value. Get your freaking mic on, bro. Like, dude, get your mic on. Dude.
Okay.
Dude. Okay? Dude.
So, number 3, unshakable resolve, not much phases you. My mom always says that, son, all hell can be breaking loose, and you just sitting there cool and calm, putting a plan together. That this is just. I'm almost aghast right now. Like, this is
okay. So I think collectively as a community, we can all put a 1 in the side chat if you feel like this first point describes Big Homie, and put a 2 if you don't think it does. Next point, Big Homie, I'm muting you because you're streaming on a potato. Silent warrior standing quietly and alone. Oh, okay. That is me. That is literally me right there. Right.
That is literally me. This is crazy.
I told you.
What?
Dude,
dude. Champagne. Hold on.
Yeah, go.
And
honestly.
I just wanted to say again, I had no idea this was Big Homie. I had no idea at all.
Crazy.
I really had no idea.
Yo, speak only what is vital. Like, yo, I don't believe in no wasted communication.
Yeah, few words.
Even from a young age, you have displayed a steadfast desire to do what is right, guided by your inner. There's a super chat blocking my screen. I can't.
Yeah, man. Listen, I'm doing my best. Okay,
your inner compass toward integrity and justice. Like, I swear to you on my life, I used to be in my neighborhood looking like, man, I have to do something about this. Like, natural ability to. My mom always says that I have the spirit of discernment. You carry an innate gift to perceive others on a deep level. Your ability to intuitively understand people and situations allows you to bring clarity, wisdom, and alignment wherever you go. Thank you, sweetheart. Constant state of a let's go! Yes. I promise you, you cannot sneak up on me. You cannot catch me. If you go, you better be on your P's and Q's if you come for the big fella. I promise you. I'm gonna constant state of alertness. Like Teros, you are always attuned, present, and aware. This heightened state of vigilance empowers you to respond with precision and wisdom when it is most needed. This is 100% facts. This.
How bad is that, homie? Remember what I told you? Remember what I told you? It's gonna validate the little threads that make you you. This woman didn't even know who this was.
No, because we gave the real name. We never said. We gave your real name, and that was it. We never said anything else.
And I'm sorry to say this woman. That was very rude. I know exactly who you are.
So is this why Beverly? So Beverly, this is why you asked me who's Keith?
Yeah, that's why I asked you who's Keith. Who's Keith?
I was like, man, that's me.
Yeah, that's Keith and you.
That is my wow.
And if I could just add, and if I could just add one other point to the terrors as well, which it kind of comes across both the terrors and the felines, is around being a peacemaker. That's the one thing I didn't put in there, is very much being a peacemaker. But I don't mean necessarily a peacemaker kind of like in general, kind of trying to make like the whole world, but definitely between people. I've got kind of like a group of people and then another group of people, and you kind of in the middle, kind of. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I literally negotiated peace treaties between dangerous groups. Just yesterday, OG Scotty Mac from Detroit calls me and say, you know what, bro? Young brother, I want to thank you for putting Whack 100 and Dogface on the phone together so they can squash the beef. Like that was yesterday, and I'll send the screenshots to Ron about that. This right now, this, I am.
I told you, bro.
I told you.
No, just what you thought this was going to be in your head, right? When you were imagining what this is going to be like, and I said to you, it's going to validate all the little things that makes you you, and this is what's happening, right? And dude, we're only like 2 pages into this. You know that, right?
Yeah.
Wow.
So the Teros, and let's just not skim past this as well. The Hyperborean, you are guided, my guy.
Oh my goodness! Finally, I have answers.
Yeah.
Oh, also, just before I forget to do this, I'm going to just.
I just feel like a sense of relief, like vindication. Like
good.
Okay, that is me just sent over this PDF to you, so you've got it, bro. So anyway, let's carry on.
I'm gonna delve deep into this. Like,
okay, so the next one, oh, it says third, but anyway, you can go down. Is the Nagas.
See, my mom knows more than she lets on. That's the thing. My mom knows more than she's letting on, and that's the same thing with the priest at the church. Because my mom was an exhorter in the church, but she kind of deviated away from the church as I started to get older because I was catching like preachers doing weird stuff and stuff like that, and like she's the only one who told me these things, like some of these characteristics about myself, like. Okay. I'm gonna mute my mic. All
right. Okay. Awakening the power of your Naga DNA, revered for their dual roles as protectors and guardians of ancient wisdom. Very important. This is divine lineage deeply supports your soul's purpose, guiding you to make a profound difference in lives of individuals and larger communities. Like,
yep.
Okay, a natural leader. Okay. You carry the innate ability to guide others towards a better life, leading them out of circles of difficulty into solutions, clarity, and empowerment. This quality aligns you with the Naga mission of uplifting and protecting others. Chime in, big homie, because...
Okay. I have always been a leader of men. I've always had my own crew. I've always had my own team. I have always been in a leadership role. And, you know, and my brother would say, bro, how do you know how to do this, bro? I'm your brother. Our father was in prison. Our uncles and them was not around. Like, I raised my brother. I raised my little sister. You feel me? Like, my mom was in a mental hospital for a little while. My dad was in prison. Like, they would ask me, like, how do you know how to do this? Like, you know, captain of the football team, homecoming king. I was the homecoming king with no date. I was prom king and didn't even go.
Can I ask you, does this point towards Big Homie being activated at birth?
I don't think so. He would have been activated later. You can. Some people do come through with some of their DNA already activated, but he would have. There would have been a situation later on in life where it's necessary then to activate specific areas, like the Nagas, like particular areas. The Nagas would have been with water for sure.
Could it have been the pressure of a young age of having to support his family, and that rather than crumbling, that possibly could have activated that?
Yeah, it definitely could have. I think if homie, if you go back in your life and you have a think of what stands out in your life and what energies happened that you felt that was the day, like yesterday, what was the day in the past that made you feel or brought these feelings where it rose up within you and you realized, I'm a protector, it's profound, I've just got to do this.
I can tell you, Beverli, I can tell you in an exact moment.
Good.
I was 8 years old. My mom was dating this guy. He's a guy from Nigeria. He was an older guy. He tells my mom, he says, listen, you and your youngest son, y'all can come live with me, but your oldest son cannot come. And my mom was like, what? And come to find out, this guy was a bad dude. This guy is doing a 12-year sentence right now for aggravated domestic abuse.
Damn.
Oh, wow.
Now, my mom was saying that why would a man tell me that I was 7, my 7-year-old cannot come with me, but my youngest son can? Because this guy had ill intentions.
Yeah, absolutely.
This is
Bro, I told you.
Ron, no, you did tell me though.
I did tell you.
You did. Asria, you are a scholar, I must say.
Oh, listen, that is, we don't, you know what?
No.
Me and Big Homie aren't smart enough to know the word that fits appropriate lately for these ladies, like skill sets. We're trying. I also
I'm trying my best. Like I gotta I gotta take a sip right here. This.
I just want to say on, I believe it is Friday night. We have got Jaguar Wright coming on for her off-world DNA. So I'm assuming she's going to watch this back to sort of see what it's all about. But homie, let's just keep going, okay? Because
keep going. Go for it.
Oh, sorry, I muted you. Say that again, homie.
You want me to narrate?
Yeah.
Yeah, you go. Yeah.
All right. Let's see here. We on number 2?
Number 2, yeah.
A soul designed for longevity. Your DNA carries the energy of endurance and longevity, supporting your ability to fulfill your central soul mission. This extended capacity ensures that your purpose is achieved in alignment with divine timing. Wow, that's okay. This is very relevant. This is very relevant. Okay, number 3. Resilience and ability to process poisons.
No. Stop.
There goes Ron. He's gone.
Listen. No. Nah, homie, See, if we were in the same room right now, we'd be walking outside and just standing out there for a couple of minutes and coming back in.
Literally. This is the moment where I chug my beer and say, holy F word. Okay.
And now it makes sense to me as to why this is in as well, because with the naggers, that's never come up, but that was certainly sort of channeled that was something that was very relevant for you and for me. And I'd just like to go back to the point that Ron made earlier, is when it comes through, you don't question it. You just jot it down or write it down.
Yeah.
You don't question it. And that was certainly a piece that came through. And I was like, I don't quite understand this, but I'm going to put it in. And it's very, very clear that this is very relevant for you. So I just wanted to pick up on some of those amazing things that were said earlier, because as I said, that's what came through channeled to say this is relevant for this person. I don't know why, but it's there. And the amazing reactions of Big Homie and Ron speak volumes, and it makes my heart feel very nice.
What's going on?
I have literally been poisoned before.
Yeah.
Like toxicology report, remnants of literal cyanide poison. I've had pneumonia on 3 different occasions, and the way that cyanide metabolizes in the human body is it turns into pneumonia.
Wow.
All right, I just
literally law enforcement came and swabbed my car, the front door of my house, my back door. On my car door handles, there was cyanide on my car door handles.
All right. So listen, just before we go any further, just pretend we're alone, Big Homie. Like some lady that's never met you just jotted down about poisons and that, bro. Like
a woman that's never encountered me.
Yeah. Never encountered you. Just talking about poisons, bro.
I never had a conversation with her.
Yeah. But
this is my first time ever seeing her. This is her first time ever seeing me.
Do you know what? Maybe we read it wrong. Resilience and ability to process poisons. All right, just carry on, bro, because I'm like, just carry on.
Okay. Now, resilience and ability to process poisons symbolizes your capacity to transform hardships and negativity into wisdom and strength. This gift allows you to navigate life's challenges with grace, emerging even stronger. This is just so accurate, like completely accurate, because literally, you know, I was weak last week. I was sick. I was a little confused. Beverly just had to bring me out of a coma almost. And like now, like you seen me yesterday, Ron. Like I was like the way I'm looking right now, like I feel a lot stronger, like to my core. This is just amazing. This is amazing.
You had the freaking flu for 30 days and then you went almost into a coma and then woke up with the flu and out of a coma. Hey.
I was on the November 6th, November 7th, I was in Dallas, Texas. In my hotel room after a retrieval. I was so sick. I made a post on Instagram, I was sick. And a lot of supporters asked me where I was, and they sent me all type of medicine and stuff. I'm taking the medicine. It's not working. I ended up going to the hospital. They give me antibiotics. I'm taking amoxicillin. It's not working. Like, it's not working. So I finished the antibiotics. I'm still sick. I go to the doctor. They say, you got a sinus infection. I'm like, sinus infection? But I've been taking, okay. Fast forward. Today, I feel immaculate. I'm having a mimosa, you know, like my face was gray yesterday. Like my face was gray. Like
it is real suspicious. Like because he didn't look too bad last time we were on the show, Big Homie, but you sounded terrible, bro.
Yes.
I'll be honest, Discord went crazy over the possibility of an cyanide attack. I'm not going to lie, they were losing their minds. But it's incredible that you've timed this to when the dream state happened originally, and the final piece of their puzzle was to lure you back. And do you know what? I imagine you went into the dream state originally so that you had a residual familiarity with that place. Nothing too overwhelming, just a corridor. Nothing too overwhelming. I imagine, Beverly, would he have spent however long amount of time walking down that corridor to never find anything?
Yeah, he probably was. Or he used, sometimes a corridor can be used as a portal to go. You walk down the corridor because it's familiar, it's safe, especially if it looked a bit like a hotel corridor, which is usually the safest one. You can walk down there and you can go towards light or different areas. So he would have spent time in a familiar area, so there would have been no trauma and no anxiety associated with being in the corridor.
Yeah, the weaponization of familiarity.
That's it.
Okay, big homie, let's carry on.
Next
so we're
one.
All right, number 4, instinct for survival and support is key to the Naga lineage, and you embody the intuitive drive. This quality ensures you remain steadfast and supportive, offering strength and stability to those in need. This is 100% my life.
Yeah.
And even with dating, like I would be dating, and like it's just like I always just would attract like severely damaged people. And it's like, man, I always said as a man, oftentimes you have to mend a heart you didn't break. So, it made me deviate from that. Like, I just would be like on a path, just like, you know what?
Homie, what if you reinterpret that as you're the only one that could heal that broken heart? And if you've got a long line of failed relationships that are based off of you fixing that person and then moving on a better person, that is something you need to consider. It sucks because you feel like you're in an endless cycle of fixing people and being alone. But don't worry, mate. You're too busy right now to be focusing on that stuff. So don't worry. Okay. I'm just saying.
I got a message about 2 days ago from a lady. Her name is Sade Nelson. And she said, when I met you, I was broken down. And the time I spent around you, when you decided that you had to keep going, you left my life in a better shape. And like, I screenshotted that because it's like, man, why is she saying this to me now? That this is real interesting, man. I'm gonna be reading this all night over and over and over. I'm gonna be researching all night.
Now here's an interesting one, big homie. I often talk about will and intent within magic, right? And a person who is not a pure of heart could take exactly what you've discovered there, weaponize it as a tactic to bring vulnerable people in, almost like a lure or a bait, if you know what I'm saying. And people like yourself have been given that because they know that you can handle the responsibility of being that intermediary in people's lives.
Absolutely. I always said to myself that a lot of times someone will come on my radar. And when you do your research on somebody, you find out that there was a point in time when they made a decision that they were going to go dark. And I used to think to myself, like, is this all worth it? And something will happen that'll put a smile on my face, like, this is what I do this for, And, I didn't start doing this because I wanted to find like love or I wanted to get like some type of eternal reward. I just started doing this because I felt like it needed to be done. I felt compelled to take initiative because I seen the joy on people's faces when they knew an oppressor wasn't coming back around. Like a guy learned this lesson. You feel me? Somebody who who was enacting just lascivious things upon people who didn't even know what was happening to them. You know, I've seen the faces, I've heard the audio. You know, I've seen little ladies' faces before and after they've been accosted. And, you know, you always remember certain things. So people always say, why do I wear sunglasses and stuff when I'm inside? You know, people have to understand, like, you know, after football, my eyes are just naturally sensitive to light due to, like, you know, I've had concussions and things like that. And then the security aspect of things, you know, when I wear sunglasses, I'm able to see people without them being able to see me. So I can always see who's watching without them being able to see that I can see them. You feel me? It's a tactic. And another thing people don't know is, you know, I got these glasses hooked up so I can see behind myself. So my peripheral vision is pretty top notch. I did extensive training on that. So on the inside of my glasses, I got these shades hooked up so that I can look to the side and see if there's someone behind me. So that's the insight I never told anybody, but yeah. So yeah, that's a real thing. I'm ready to keep reading though. I'm ready to keep reading.
Go for it.
This right here, me and my mom gonna sit down and watch this. We'll look at this. Okay. I'm on number 5. Sacred guardianship. You hold a sacred role as a protector and guardian of higher knowledge and spiritual treasures. While your energy is aligned with balance and protection, you have the strength to fiercely defend your purpose and the wisdom entrusted to you when necessary. Swear to God.
Now, notice it uses the word purpose, right? Not your body, not your whatever. Yeah. It's your purpose, bro.
Yeah. Yes. 110%. Yeah.
Yes. And I tell you, like, I have a fierce reputation. But I got a video. I have a video, and I'm going to send it. Every time I get on an airplane, ladies that look just like Beverli and just like Asria, as soon as I get on the plane, they turn around and look at me, and it's like they've adopted me instantly. Right away. Like, I have proof. I'm going to send the video. I'm going to send it. As soon as they see me, there's a lady named Terry Gottenstein. I met her on an airplane. I was trying to order a drink from the flight attendant. She looks just like Beverli. I was trying to order a drink from the flight attendant. And she was like, sir, your card isn't working. Can you connect to the Wi-Fi? I said, my battery's dead. I can't connect to the Wi-Fi to log into my bank. She turns around. She's like, grandson, is that you? I turn around. She said, that's my grandson. Whatever he wants, I'm going to order it for him. And she was like, this isn't your grandson. He said, you going to tell me what my family is? Yeah. Like, she didn't have to do that. She didn't have to do that.
No.
And a lot of things making sense to me. Like, and I will always capture these moments because people will think you're lying.
Talk a little bit, Beverli, about ancestral DNA, residual ancestral DNA, because I think that's an interesting just 2-minute segue to maybe, and just to help explain that to Big Homie.
So in your energy too, you've also got a long line of ancestral DNA that you also bring through. So apart from all the lovely things that Asria does in the alien DNA, you've also brought through all the traces from your ancestors, all the traces from all the family that came before you, from your mum's side, from your dad's side, from all of those, all the warriors that came before you. And because you had so many warriors and so many individuals that was able quite easily with the energies to reach out to people that are around you, this is what is happening. Your energies have changed, and that energy that's going out, you will automatically have that energy that flows out of you, not just from your ancestors, but also from what's within you, as well as the alien DNA. So nobody really stands a chance around you because that energy is vibrating so fast people will actually physically go back and look at you and think, oh, okay, this is different. They don't know why it's different, but you are different, and they will react to you in a different way.
I've got one more thing I want to throw at you before Big Homie reacts to that, right? You know, I often talk about the shadow people being misunderstood. I think they feed on you in your sleep so that it gives you comfortable deniability that this was all a dream, blah, blah, blah. Things like a flight, is that not the perfect scenario for a guardian or a being to slip into someone's life in a way that you would expect 8-hour friendship, and then you forget about that encounter in that person? Is that not the perfect recipe for a grandmother from 4 lifetimes ago to pop in and buy Big Homie a meal?
Well, not necessarily buy Big Homie a meal, but certainly to have a level of activation. Certainly, yeah, I would say yes, you can. And I do know some people who have had unbelievable out-of-body experiences and who have connected with the spirits of their ancestors on flight. So yeah, I would say yes, that's possible.
Okay, now Big Homie, I'm going to give you a chance to react. If anyone could roll back the footage, I'm pretty sure I just seen something shoot over Big Homie's left shoulder.
I just see some walk past your shoulder. I was gonna ask you about that.
No, listen. I'm telling you, bro.
You just saw that right there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm putting the footage back.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Now, Beverly. So check this out, right? Some years back, my mom takes my brother and I to a reptile zoo. A reptile
snake park.
Not even okay. So a reptile convention.
Oh wow!
So a lot of different vendors are there with the reptiles they breed, and they sell them. You know, I always had a pet collection when I was a kid. So we get to this one guy, and we notice he has something that looks like an armoire. And he's got it drilled shut, and it says, "Danger, keep away, poisonous reptile."
Wow!
Immediately, I'm intrigued. I'm like, "Yo, hold on, this guy got poisonous snakes and stuff in here. Like, I want to see it." So he said, "We're gonna be doing a presentation here in about 2 minutes. So you guys just stand aside." I'm like, "Cool." So my mom walks up. She's got a funnel cake. She's enjoying her funnel cake. And she said, "What y'all doing right here? What's going on?" So she peeps the scene. And then she says, "Sir, can you please not bring out any poisonous snakes around my son? Or any snakes at all around my son?" And the guy's like, "Oh, he's a pretty big guy. He's going to be safe. It's all right." She said, No. It's not about that. She said, "Just things happen around my son."
Yeah, that's a fact.
Things happen around my son, and I don't want you bringing out no type of poisonous animals. She said, "Well, ma'am, you know, we pay a lot of money here for this booth, and we got to make a presentation. You know, I don't mean to be rude or anything, but you know, maybe you guys can go look elsewhere. I got to try to sell some stuff here." And so she's like, "Keith, step back." So I step back. Listen to my mom. I step back. The guy brings out a albino king cobra.
Oh, lovely.
He's got his long apparatus that he uses to wrangle the snake, and he goes into snake wrangler mode. And about 10 seconds in, he says, "Oh, she's really turned on today." The snake. The snake tries to kill this guy. So it gets so tense. He calls out for his partner. He's like, "Rob, grab the garbage can. Grab the garbage can." So Rob comes out with the garbage can, and they ended up having he had to grab the snake by the tail, and they had to force the snake into this garbage can and close the lid. This guy's pouring sweat, and my mom is sitting there. Now, mind you, my mom is we got Irish people in our family, so my grandfather was an Irish man, So my mom's got fair skin tone. She's about 5'4". I call her Cotton Heart, about 5'4", sweetest lady you ever meet. So she's eating her funnel cake, and the guy who was the reptile handler looks over to her, and she says, "I told you don't bring that snake out."
Yeah.
And the look that guy gave me, I'll never forget. Like the look he gave me was like just this weird look, like what just happened to me? Like the snake literally, the snake started spitting venom at this guy. So he had to put he had like a face mask that was clear with a shield, but he couldn't get to it. And he's like, normally this animal doesn't spit. He rolls into a panic, like he's sweating, middle-aged Eastern European descent, heavy-set guy. His face turns beet red. Like the snake was coming with this. The snake was. He said she's turned on today. The snake was active. The snake was on him. So he called out for his assistant, for his partner. They get the snake into the garbage can. They close the top. I seen that relief on his face when he got the snake wrangled. And he looked at me. He looked at my mom. My mom told him, he said, "I told you don't bring that snake out around my son."
Yeah.
And that's like, this is vindication for me right here. Like, as soon as I get back home, my mom and I'm going to send her this video.
Dude, we're not even close to done.
Oh, no.
Like, I just want to say as well, what I thought was a majestic being turned out to be a car. But anyone who else is seeing orbs and stuff over Big Homie, I'm not discounting your what you've seen. But it looked like a car to me, the thing I seen. Now, dude, we're in the second dominant DNA. Okay, this is like we're gonna get some realness here. Okay, so feline, playful and trickster energy. Exudes playfulness and a trickster-like nature, bringing comfort and joy to those you support. This vibrant energy helps dissolve tension, uplift spirits, and inspire creativity in those around you. Now, do you remember, right, when you messaged me and you were like, "Oh, see you podcasters," and then you and I bonded over like our mutual want to destroy evil? Like the difference in you when you're in the inner, like when you're in that friend zone, if you will, compared to how you were when before we became bros, it just sums you up to a T, my guy.
Ron, could I just add something in? Could I just add something in there as well? Is around that playful and trickster energy is twofold, really. So first of all, it's that people do feel that sort of comforting with you. So when there are people, as you said, in what I've got, like in distress, that's kind of like an automatic magnet. It's kind of like, I know I can go to them because that person has very much got that energy around them. But at the same time, it's kind of like a double-sided thing, because it's also, if there's a person who is meaning you harm, but then there is kind of like that playful nature on both sides. It's kind of like, yeah, okay, I can play and I can laugh up until a point, but you can bring your claws out and I'm going to bring my claws out. So that's very much what I was kind of getting within that section there. But sometimes I can't put everything in the report, so I just wanted to add that in as well, please.
No, I get you. And you see, when you apply it to a major factor, right, like his, where the line is, effectively, where he draws the line, right? I've experienced this exact thing from if we all worked in an office building and we were just getting to know each other and sizing each other up. You know what I'm saying? Like if me and Big Homie stood next to each other, right? I might also as well, if he's Big Homie, I'm Lil Yum Yum. All right. So that's now, I've now given myself my mystic name, Lil Yum Yum. Okay. We are the most odd looking pair ever. Okay. 6'6", right? I'm up to his like nipple, right? All the photos of us would be like me here, like this, right? And then Big Homie. We're an unlikely pair, but man, the way I talk about you and Beverli and Asria and all the people that are in our little, group, it's like we have done this 1,000 times and we're all just It's like when you take a bunch of Play-Doh as a kid and mash it all into one color. That's what we are, right? We're just all the Play-Doh mangled, because I feel this is so much more than the Shaun Attwood podcast, the Beverli Rhodes Awaken, Asria's DNA. This is all great facilitations of content for people to understand. But this is mega, bro.
This right here is crazy. This is okay. Should I say this right here? Okay. Well, okay, after reading number 1, I like to laugh and joke. Legitimately. Like, you know, I used to pull a lot of pranks as a kid, like prank calling people. Like, I would see my mom being sad. I'll do a little prank to see her laugh, you know. But there's another element to this in particular DNA strand right here. So there's a group of guys called the Navajo Rangers.
Oh, nice.
The Navajo Rangers are an elite group amongst the Navajo law enforcement on the reservation. I've been blessed to be able to do some things with them, work with them. And they investigated a series of events of landings on their reservation. The landings came with biological creatures that exited vehicles and surveyed along the reservation and hung out and spoke to people. And what people on the reservation reported was, they said there were people, they had cat faces.
Oh, that's it.
And that they called them the feline people who came and exchanged gifts with them throughout history. Now, I was always intrigued by that because, you know, you sit down with somebody, you know, this is not a person with an Instagram or YouTube. Like when you go onto the reservation, a lot of these people's homes do not even have electricity or running water. They have outhouses and, you know, they're living a very simplistic lifestyle. So when you see they've got little paintings of pretty much like kind of what I just saw there of like these people that look like cats, but they humanoid form, they walk up and they walk, not very tall, you know, based on the description, and to see that right there, it's got my heart beating fast, man.
Yeah.
Like, yo.
Because when we think of psychics and all this, oh, I'm going to get a reading, we think of what we see on the TV. We think of, oh, your mum's name begins with M, your childhood dog was brown, all this kind of showmanship, right? But when I say to you, you're going to learn what defines you, okay?
Yes.
It's the only way I can describe it, because without knowing you, this lady picked up on crows, man, with me. Crows. Like that would, like, that's a huge, like, almost spiritual religious symbol for me, bro. Like, it is at the center of almost every time I ask the universe for something and I'm in an urban environment or whatever, when there's no other options, it's the crows that answer. When I want to convince somebody of all of this being real, I say, I'll send the crows. And there's a long lineage of people the crows have come and they've shown them. And, you know, for me, you and I are on this journey, bro, because I'm flabbergasted. I really am. You know, I really am. It's incredible. Anyway, let's continue. Oh, a Big Homie, have you frozen? You may have frozen. We'll give Big Homie a chance to come back. Actually, while Big Homie unfreezes, when Big Homie comes back, I'm going to play, I think it's like a 2-minute long trailer for Beverli and Big Homie and myself's new documentary, which will be out this week. Definitely not because I'm absolutely bursting on the loo. But if anyone else is, this is a prime opportunity. I'm just going to wait for Big Homie to come back. I imagine his phone has rang, just so I can tell him what's going on. But before we do that, can we please make sure we are liking and subscribing and sharing all this? The documentary with Beverli and Big Homie, aiming to have it out for Thursday or Friday. I'm editing up the final parts of Beverly's section. Well, that's all edited. I'm putting in the overlays and things like this. And then if you're on my Discord, there'll be a watch through of the documentary, where I'm going to get some feedback from you guys, and then it'll go live. So make sure you join the Discord. I understand that I've spelt the word join wrong, and I've been spamming the side chat with Join Ron's Discord, and it's like I've spelt some lady's name. But trust me, words are hard. Now, while we wait for Big Homie to come back, I'm going to play this trailer. Don't go anywhere. We are not by no means finished. I've been saving questions. So if you want to make sure you get a question in, put 3 capital Qs, then your question. Don't bother putting any questions until I get back and after the trailer, because I'm going to the bathroom. So we will be back. Do not go anywhere. Big Homie will be returning also. And while you wait, we will play the trailer for the new documentary, The Occult.
So along this path, I grew up in the church. I ended up spending times at Catholic schools, Catholic churches, and stuff like that. And they have a prayer. The prayer is, Holy Mary, Mother of God, pray for us sinners now to the hour of our death. Amen. Now, one day, me and my partner ended up at a confession. And a brief conversation with the Father had them come out, sit us down. We ended up having some deep conversations. Now, one thing he conveyed to me was that he is a licensed exorcist from the Archdiocese. It's a short list of people.
Stupore de ti, terrore conturba, e me tu trepidi di mori sexati, lentamente vanestano, dell'omine santificazione, santissimi nomi della tua, guarda firme, devi avere paura, per Cristo, non paradiso, perfetta tu Cristi, la Maria nera, le messe nere.
So what people don't know is each exorcist has a team. Now on this team, he usually has a bodyguard, security, someone along those lines. So we ended up getting contracted to accompany him on one of his jobs, which was indeed an exorcism. And I learned very fast that there is a spiritual realm. I learned very fast that demons do exist.
This is madness. This is...
All right, Big Homie has returned. The power of a terrible construction of the iPhone has working against him, where it basically just wants to melt. So let's just get straight back into this, Big Homie. I've unmuted you. And family orientated and nurturing. You just continue to have your mind blown.
Can y'all hear me?
Yep.
Yeah, perfect.
It's family-oriented and nurturing. You are deeply family-oriented, naturally drawn to taking care of senior members while lovingly guiding and protecting the younger ones. Okay. This nurturing quality creates a safe and harmonious space for growth and connection with your family, within your family and community. My sister made a post on Instagram yesterday saying, nothing ever happened to me because people feared my brother. To me, that's a crowning achievement. You know, my little brother said, look, someone asked my little brother, shout out my boy Rigger, they said, you ever got bullied? He said, what? I got a big brother. No. Like, that meant a lot to me. Like, these things, this is literally me. Like, I like a house full of people. When I show up to the family barbecue, all the ladies get up and they making my plate before everybody. So it's just like, you know, well, I'm getting called to come bodyguard right now.
Well, read fast.
Okay.
This one.
This is deep. Number 3, intuitive and telepathic. You possess an extraordinary ability to read the room, picking up on energies and vibrations with telepathic precision. Your innate sensitivity allows you to respond in the most appropriate and impactful ways, fostering understanding and balance wherever you go. Bingo! Yo, that's wild. Boom, boom, boom. That right there, yeah, because I'm gonna bring Duke. Next time we do this, I'm gonna have my right-hand man, Big Dugan, with me, so he can tell you how. Like, look, he'll say, like, bro, how did you know that? Like, how did you know that we're supposed to avoid that area right there? Like, how did you know someone's gonna come to the door right now? Like, how did you know? And it's like, you don't want to tell people that, look, man, voices in my head told me that. You know, like, you don't want to say that. But now I am going to make sure anybody who will listen are gonna know about Asria and Beverli and Ron, alien DNA, off-world DNA. They gonna know about all of this because, you know, in order to make change, you gotta light the match, because you cannot fight any war without belief. You can't have an army without belief. And I feel like we gotta build up the belief, because, like, this is crazy.
Dude.
Number 4, silent strength and impactful presence. Even in moments of quiet, your presence speaks volumes. Strong and resilient. You hold an undeniable impact that inspires respect and admiration. You embody individuality and fearless determination, standing firmly for truth and integrity. They tried to kill me. People tried to murder me because I wouldn't let women get killed by men. Like, people literally tried to murder me. Like, I had to shoot through my own front door because guys was trying to ambush me. Like, I've seen the darkest parts of society. Like, I've seen the darkest parts of humanity, and, like, I never let that compromise me. Like, you know, people say, whenever you walk in, you light up the room, big homie. And it's just like, man, I'm just thankful. Like, this right here, like, smaller DNA strands detected. Oh, this continues. The feline lineage is a prominent and influential aspect of your spiritual makeup. This sacred heritage carries an agenda of healing, unity, and divine connection, supporting humanity's collective spiritual evolution. You are a natural healer and co-creator, helping to align others with their highest purpose and divine potential. God is great. God is great. Yeah, I sponsor like little basketball teams over the years. I would just do things to try to keep the youth preoccupied, because like I always say, one moment in the darkness can keep somebody in the darkness forever.
Mm-hmm.
And the moment you see the light, usually for the average person, it's probably too late. So yesterday, I'm looking down this long tunnel. I say, you know what? I'm not going down there to that light. I'm just going to stand right here. And then I heard a voice coming. I'm like, man.
One thing that keeps coming to me that defines everything that is happening, right, is the sentence that in darkness we see, right? And whether that is uncovering darkness, whether that is these women in your life who have been repaired after they've been with you, okay? And it's interesting because I've had similar experiences like that in my dating history. It's so deep and powerful, right, what we're uncovering here. Like, I wish we were like 8,000 years forward in evolution so that we had massive brains and we could really fully understand all of this. Because at the moment, there's so much trust. Like, you have to give yourself over to this to fully, ride the wave of it the way that we are. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, how much you putting down as a bet if 12 months ago I told you you'd be sat on a panel discussing your alien DNA after you're pulled out of a coma by a Scottish dude and a Jedi? Like, how much you putting down? You're mortgaging your mom's house. You're putting everything down on that. I'm telling you. And
yo, like, legitimately, this is a life-changing moment. I'm forever thankful for y'all. Like, I'm going to make an initiative to come sit next to all of you in person. Like, next to a grill. Like, I'll go get some tomahawks with everybody. I'm a pretty good chef.
Oh yeah, there'll be that, and then there'll be that 48 hours that we never discuss that happens, like probably Amsterdam or somewhere like this. It'll be a man. We just don't talk about it. We'll probably wake up on a shore with a sea lion licking our faces, wondering what the hell has happened. I'm here for it. Now, listen, please give us a like. Please give us a share. We're carrying on. So this is past the major DNA strand. Okay? Yeah. So this is where things are going to get interesting, because you've been so drawn and gravitated to the results of the major DNAs. So let's now see the subtle nuances, the chocolate on the cappuccino, the whisper within thyself, big homie. Let's see where this carries us.
Shout out to Laz. Laz is watching. Hello, Queen. Love you. See you soon. Miss Lorraine. Hyperborean. Okay. These beings are pure consciousness, corporeal beings, composed entirely of energy and light, meaning they were not picked up as a part of your DNA. Primary purpose was to establish and balance a channel message to say that when you get the flash, impressing intuition and information, this is from them. These beings are there to guide you to insight.
Dude, this is the thing that turns Bev and Asria, into freaking me. Right? They're like, oh my God. Like, this is what, like, this is just, ladies, like, if, like, how rare are we talking here? Because we've seen you guys do what you do, and we've seen you talk about off-world beings, but when we talk about something that is the fabric of time and space, because what we're seeing here looks a lot like what people talk about when they're on a certain DMT experience with golden energy fueled beings. And I'm just saying, I don't know what I'm saying, but
these are way better. These are way better than any substance trippy type thing. These are way more. And these types of beings, it is the first time that we've ever encountered anything like this in all the years that this has been done.
First time.
They've been on the radar, but there's never anybody so far. I'm sure we'll get more in the future because there's a lot of people that are bringing the light, working with the light. There's lots of light workers, lots of warriors, individuals that are being given things. And this is the first time we see it with Big Homie, because obviously you need them and you need to listen to them, which is really important.
I just want to say to any of future Mrs. Big Homies that are out there, if he ever comes back and says, "Oh, I've got a job at a security guard for a psychic convention full of age-appropriate ladies," I would just ban him from that, because I think this is the sort of thing that makes someone stand out in those kind of realms. And Big Homie, do you truly think that we are capable of grasping of what's just been said to us? Because
so basically what you said is what y'all are collaborating to agree upon is that as a collective, that this characteristic and DNA strand, this is the first time that you've seen it.
It's the
So
first
if
time
I can, yeah, in regards to when we're picking up the DNA, there are certain frequencies, and it's over the years I've been learning on what that frequency feels like, as much as the beings have said that I'm working with either step forward to go, yes, that's definitely me. The difference with these guys is that right from the moment that I tuned into you, there was this amazing and intense feeling, and I could not. It took me a long time to figure out what it was. And I said, I got Beverli involved, and I was like, there is a being there, but from a DNA perspective, I'm picking up nada. So I was like, there is a huge protection there. There is a huge energy there. And it's almost as though it like encapsulated me in like this bubble. And so, yeah, after a little bit more work and a few more conversations and channeled messages that were coming through, we were starting to understand, okay, well, there won't be a DNA because they don't have any. So it was very much a learning curve for me as well. So hopefully that gives just following on from what Beverli was saying there, the actual sort of feelings and vibrations there.
Bro, you're a paladin, okay? You ever played World of Warcraft? Right,
yes, I have.
Dude, you are a paladin tank. Okay, that is what you are. You are a paladin tank. Okay.
What is that exactly for those of us that don't play Warcraft? I know.
Listen.
What is it?
We're two bros nerding out right now. Okay.
Literally.
Paladin tank, bro. Like fully not retribution spank, but you know what I'm talking about, right? So a paladin is a holy warrior, and when you tank spec it, those are the ones that in the group. Okay, so imagine we're in Dungeons and Dragons, right? We've got the tank, which is Big Homie. We've got the spellcasters, and the magic users, Asria and Beverli, casting spells. He's the one taking all the damage. We're the one healing him. We're the ones casting spells behind him. He takes all the aggro and damage so that we can defeat the baddie.
I see. Wow.
And paladins are holy warrior. No one cares, Ron. Listen, no one cares, but at least you guys know now, because I see all of this like a Dungeons and Dragons team. That's the only way that I can summarize this, is like a Dungeons and Dragons or a Warcraft raid team.
Wow. Thank you for explaining, because I didn't know. Honestly, I didn't know.
Yeah, that's okay. That's okay. I mean, that was proper nerding out there. Two guys talking about World of Warcraft. It makes sense. I mean, that is as nerdy as it gets, yo. Right, Big Homie, you still there?
Yeah, I'm still here. I just sent you a little message.
Oh God, that could go two ways. Okay. All right. So basically, we're right at the very, very end, bro. Big Homie's on just got a code red. Alpha Draconians, Nordics, Mantis, and these golden people. We're going to have to either rush through them in 5 minutes because Big Homie's just had the big red button pressed. So he needs to go and serve his contractual obligations. Would you rather, Big Homie, steam through this or come back for maybe a follow-up?
So I will say this. So like in the UFO community, all of the beings that are being shown there are beings that oftentimes come up with abduction stories, visitations, benevolent visits, passing on of information. This mantis creature is said to be someone who, you know, telepathically speaks to people when they encounter this person.
Well,
the Alpha Draconians, I was told by retired CIA agent John Ramirez that there are hybrid bloodlines that attach themselves from the lineage of these Alpha Draconians.
Well, listen, do you know the beauty of this? I can see you're worried, right? Do you want to see mine? Look, Mantis, Reptilian, and Mantis. Okay, Alpha, the Draconians, and all of this. So imagine the balance that we spoke of, Big Homie. So in every race, there's that balance. Okay, now imagine all of the things that you require that you said before that you need to do, the things that have to be done come from these places, because without being able to channel so for example, Big Homie, there's no point in you doing your job and then being traumatized by your actions when you're dishing out judgment in the evenings. You need to be able to sleep at night, and that's what makes you sleep at night. I just wanted to sum it up in a way that was like a bro before the ladies come in and give us the textbooks, the actual definition. It doesn't come from a madman.
Crazy. This is crazy. Like I'm so charged up right now. Like, yo.
So I mean, we can just go through them really quickly. I mean, the main characteristics that I got through for the Alpha Draconians, Nordics, Mantis, and Venusians. The Alpha Draconians, very much the warrior type energy, 100%. With the Nordics, it was again that protection element, because when they showed up, I kind of got this like big shield, kind of going back to a World of Warcraft thing, very much so. With the Mantis, absolutely agree with you there, Big Homie, around the telepathicness. But with you in particular, it's got that you can move, like the quick movement. Very much so. It's kind of like there's a certain way in which you move, but if you need to move quick, you can, and that's very much what came through to me on there. And the Venusians was color. They're very sort of sensitive to color. So I don't know sort of how that resonates with you, but I've got that color is very important to you. If you see certain colors, it has various effects. So I will leave that with you. But that's for me a quick rundown of what was coming through with those starseeds.
Did you not say there was something going on with your eyes and light sensitivity earlier, bro?
Yeah, so my eyes are extremely sensitive to bright lights and light, period. So, I oftentimes keep my eyes covered, or I'll wear like a baseball cap if I don't have on glasses, or I'll have a hoodie covering my eyes, because like when I do these interviews, or like whenever I'm like filming something, I'm always in front of like bright lights, and like most of the times, I'm sitting there with a migraine headache because of it. I just don't say anything about it because it's necessary.
Okay. I got some advice for you. So I'm the same. So look what happens when I put these lenses up here. Okay,
those are polarized.
Well, it takes a lot of certain shades of light.
Those for UV light. That's for UV.
Yeah. So I've got an orange set, bro, that I can't find. If I could find, when I hold them up, all the blue light just completely disappears and nullifies. So I'll send you some link. I know you still want the bad boy ones. So the ones I wear, like They are bright orange lenses. They look like Bono. You will not like the vibe, but you can get them. And honestly, bro, if you were to stare at a blue light, it would look like an off, like as if you turned a bulb off. It's crazy.
Nice.
When you're doing your interviews, that's the ones you want to do. Okay. Also, as well, if anyone can track down those Courtney Burgess glasses, I'm still desperately trying to find those glasses. So if anyone can find them, that would be great. So, do you understand, Big Homie, how when we look at the majority of you, okay, this is how prominent things are. And when you got worried about the ones that are down here, the negative ones, there is so little of them that you've cherry-picked what you need to do your path. Okay, yeah. So for example, when we look at the Alpha Draconians, I mean, that they are the tanks, man. I mean,
yes, sir.
I googled Paladin and this popped up. Do you know what I'm saying? So,
oh wow, look at that.
So if you imagine, they're probably very complex beings too, and one slither of them will be their ability to do that. So you've just sort of pulled that little thread out, because it's just so on point, bro. It really is. It's wild, and it's interesting because we've went from podcast guest to, not really knowing where we stand with each other, and then bonding over that, and then this all happening, and then more happening. Yeah. I mean, it's this. But do you know what else though, bro? This is just the start of it, man.
Right, and I can feel that. Like, I'm so excited. Like my phone is blowing up with messages from people watching.
Oh, good.
And then I got a client that's watching right now. He was like, "Bring your ass over here. I'm gonna plug you in a 4 hour." So he's like,
when you have friends that are interested in talking to you about this, the ones that you feel like you can connect with on this, right? Yes. You should actually say, "Hey, listen, in a week's time, I'm going to have a big watch through at my house, and we can watch through all of it, and you can talk me through it." Because I think you trying to regurgitate it all is going to, you're going to be like me. It's like when you get given, when like your cool aunt hands you the perfect Christmas present, and you're running through from the kitchen to the living room to see your mum, and you're like, and but the problem is you'll not want to be like that, right? So I just want to imagine you trying to like regurgitate all these facts, and I can't wait for your friends. And I'll tell you something else. Anyone who's on your side of things, whoever wants to come on and discuss things in one of our shows, and they don't want their identity, or they want to sort of, keep their, their street factor stum until they dip their toe in, I would say I would welcome that, because the more people you have around you that are enlightened to the point that you can tap into their energy, and this is you can look at it in the positive way. Oh, we're enlightening people. It's great. Or you can look at it Ron's way. You're going to have a bunch of mega batteries around you, so that when you need it, if you've got 6 friends that all sit around you, when something like what happened the other day happens, that is going to be an incredible little tool for you to play around with next year.
Absolutely.
Definitely not a coven. Okay, definitely not a coven. Okay, we're definitely not going to call it a coven. But I'm just saying, bro, it's going to be a great journey, and I'm so excited for all of us. You, me, Asria, Bev, Marilyn, Jaguar, freaking Danny, all of us. We are on a mission, and more people will be joining us, and we'll discover them, and it is just an incredible. It's like Lord of the Rings, bro. It's like a freaking quest, yo.
We love a quest. We love a quest. We do. We love a quest.
Right, Homie, how are you doing for time?
Yeah.
You needing to go just now, bro, because I don't want you to be held up for your client in case some madness goes down.
I'm just going to say hello to the client. Hello to client. I see you.
Yeah. So stop trying to berate me right now. Yeah, Bev.
I see you. And yes, you can put a note in the text to Homie, and he will read it out to me, which is fine. but I see.
I hope somewhere a very expensive crystal glass of brandy was just shattered on a very expensive board. Well, a man stands in Versace going, all right, I'm not playing anymore. Okay, I'm not
No.
playing.
No, he doesn't drink brandy, actually.
Facts.
Dude, I just wanted to make camping videos.
That's great. I gotta get out of here, man. Holy shit.
Okay. We're not going anywhere, people, because
We'll do the questions.
yeah, well, big homie, listen. To the people, sincerely, right? We've had a good time. It's always very mind blowing when these things are read out. I've messaged you over the PDF so you can go and show it to everybody. Just inclusively, when it comes to Beverli, when it comes to the realm in which she promotes Asria, the realm in which she has created with the unifier. Just give people your big homie just one more time as how legitimate is all this.
First and foremost, I want to thank Ron. I want to thank Beverli. I want to thank Asria. And humbly, I say this to you all. This has been a game-changing experience for me. This will have a resonating effect on my life because along my path, I knew certain things in certain realms existed. I knew that this was not just base reality. I always knew that there was a lost history and a lost set of information that only a few of us are privy to, and it was going to take a match being lit to spread the awareness. I am somebody who does not believe in sacrificing his moral compass to sensationalize things for views. I'm only going to speak on what I know to be facts and things that I've researched and I can confirm. This chart that I just saw has summed up my life. There are details that is impossible for Bev to know. It's impossible for Asria to know. It's impossible for Ron to get those feelings without there being a certain level of unification. Everything that's been explained to you today here is 100% facts, is 100% real. And I think we all need to reconvene here again as soon as possible. Yeah. And I'm getting so many messages. People say they love this type of interview. People are sending me certain stuff. So,
Well, listen, if you're watching this and you're loving this, how incredible would it be for you guys to email Asria, get a quote, arrange a dinner party for all of your friends, then over a laptop during dinner, you all go through your DNAs, and look, there's just what happens to be all of your contact details. Oh, wasn't that wonderful? So, if anybody would like to do that, think about if you like throwing dinner parties for your friends, but Sandra from The Office seems to always get one up on you. Okay, planning this, yo. Okay, if you want to, you want to show your family, a gift that no one will ever give them. Okay, get in contact with Asria. Okay, if you would like to remote view, do all of the things that the wonderful Beverli Rhodes does. I'm just going to put everyone's website scrolling here right now. Okay, I'm just going to do that because I'm underprepared. But you've got to understand this. When you've got somebody like Big Homie, who is the textbook, has more to lose by making anything. Even why would you make up that a YouTuber and a lady you don't like from another freaking part of the world pulled you out of a corridor in your brain? Like, why?
You wouldn't.
You wouldn't. Yeah. You see what I mean? So when we're looking at this, if you want to be part of this, if you want to experience this, if you have loved ones, if you have a party, if you have something where you can bring all of this together, I'm telling you now, this will be people will be talking about your party for the rest of their freaking life. And I just want to remind everybody, these ladies' skill sets are incredibly honed and valuable. What they do for us on this show, it's incredible. And you've got to understand, if they did it every single day for absolutely nothing, we would get half their time because they would have to go and get regular jobs. Okay. Mm-hmm. These things are incredible and they have value. So please understand that if you're chosen for a free reading or something like that, it doesn't mean that everything is open from these ladies. And I feel like I need to step in at this point because they've been so generous with everything. And just tell me now in the side chat, you can see yourself, even if it's just you and your partner, your anniversary. Imagine sitting down with your off-world DNA and finding out that you have got DNA that attracts each other and all this kind of stuff. Mate, I could sit and repackage this in an evil marketing director way all day. Big homie, I don't want to keep you any longer. I just want to say to you, make sure you check in. If you're getting on any more airline situations, let me know. I'll send Alan. In fact, just let me know about the flight. I won't even tell you Alan's coming. I quite like the fact that you were freaked out at the airport. That's brilliant. So,
man, I wish you would have said something. I'm like, man, what the?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Thank you to everyone that tuned in. BigHomie.CC here. Thank you to Ron. Thank you to Beverli. Thank you to Asria. I'm going to come back as soon as possible. I got to go take care of the business. I'm going to leave now. Thank you to everyone in the chat. I love you all. Till next time.
Keep safe.
Thank you very much.
Okay, and keeping in mind as well, it is a bald cap. He does have a massive red Mohican underneath there, and it is one of the best secrets. Now, you lovely people, okay, these ladies have given up so much time, but we are here for some questions, all right? Now, first of all, Asria, let me just ask you about what's it like on you when you do a reading physically?
Mm-hmm.
Like, and is there anything you can compare it to? Like, is it like you've been for a jog and you're drained? Is it like you've, got a headache, but it's the throbbing, but maybe there's no pain? Like, take us through the physical, if there's any physical toll, and if the physical toll varies depending on, how sassy the person is, metaphorically speaking.
Yeah, absolutely. No, that's a great question, Mom. Thank you so much. It's really around it depends what being. So where you tune in, it very much, you go into a meditative state like most people do. But everything feels light.
Mm-hmm.
Everything, it's kind of like you don't really have a body. And then depending on what being steps forward, sometimes it can feel very heavy, especially if it's, say, one of the, even though they're really, really light, like the mantis or one like that, sometimes it's almost as though they're they're absolutely standing in your energy field. And all of a sudden, everything around you feels very heavy. So it really depends on which being is around, but actually physically not really too much. It's all around the feel. Okay. It's all around the sensation. Physically, okay. I don't really get too much. It's everything sort of around me, because I said I'm aware of who's stepping in and who's stepping back.
So
some of the most amazing ones are like the moon eyes, because everything goes a slight blue. So does that really kind of answer the question there, Ron?
It does. So this is what I wanted to lead on to this. So if somebody was like, oh, I feel like I can do this, and you sit down and it's day one, you're not tuned in, right? So I imagine for all of this, it's okay. So today I'm going to focus on mantis, right? And you look for the identifying signatures of that species, what resonates, the identifiers, the signs, all of that. And I would imagine you would then repeat that over time to see if the data all matches up. So it is effectively, it is like a science. I mean, you are the cosmic scientist now. That's where you are the tinkerer in the Dungeons and Dragons, except instead of it being like flying machines and all of that, it's cosmic weapons. Okay. Tools, shall we say. Also as well, I just want to say, I just have nightmares about that on a keychain and then me falling on the keychain. Okay. Like I have the barest set of keys in the world, the barest, because I am that guy. I am the guy who falls over on his keys, and it's a day ruiner. It's like biting your cheek, but worse. Okay, so you've tuned in, you've dialed into this, right? And how many years would you say from day one of training to now? How long has it been to tune in?
3 years. About
Okay,
three and a half years.
So about the length of a degree, basically. Like if you were going to uni.
I've never actually looked at it that way, but yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So when people come out of university, they want to be able to live the life that they're studying. And I imagine that's what it's like for you. And I was told by a Reiki healer, right? He said, you know, if everyone who was gifted handed over their gift for free, right? Not only would it diminish people's, I don't know how he put it, but it was all about not feeling bad about being able to sustain yourself, if that makes sense. And
it's all in the balance.
Do you find, so let's just look at it from a basic self-employed business realm. Did you find it from self-employed business point of view hard to sort of find placement for and price gaps? And was it difficult to sort of take that step into creating a life from all of this?
Yes, because it was it was my personal understanding first, and it was the personal confidence, and it was the confidence and within, and the trust within what I was getting, and knowing that yes, now I'm actually at a point, because I really love where you said around it being kind of like a going to university like for a few years and getting a degree. By the end of that degree, you know you're certificated and you're ready to then go out into the world with it. With mine, it was doing that work over a number of years and being able to then be provided with a confidence and trust that actually, yes, it's exactly what we're saying at the start of the show, that it is that time for awakening. So I very much, there was a few friends and colleagues and that was guinea pigs sort of to start off with, and then as much as the confidence and the trust built up, but certainly from a business perspective, there's so many other things that I do as well. So like the psychic readings, chakra balancing and cleansing, meditation groups,
sweet. Well, I'll tell you what.
And many other bits. This kind of very much came in quite naturally.
Yeah, this is this is why. What is happening right now is why. Do you see what I mean? What you're doing, right, is, again, in World of Warcraft, when you give us our DNA readings, you're casting a buff over us that raises our belief, it raises our intent, it raises our capabilities, right? And that is mind-blowingly important. And the reason I compared it to a degree and studying, right,
I think it was
because we have to imagine this in a world where this is normal, and you've went to the University of Unifiers, and that's what you've wanted to study because that's what you've been drawn to. And when you come out of that, for me, you're taking people on a journey. So psychiatrists, doctors, people who we go to as an authority figure for healing or guidance, that is what you're doing. And a buff is when I cast something on you that gives you like plus 10 strength or plus 10 intellect, right? And it only lasts for a certain length of time. Whereas your buffs are maintained. It's more like an XP boost, but we'll argue semantics later. I think it's fascinating that you have tinkered with off-world beings, and you have got, I'm not saying I stand for anything, but Big Homie, Kaza, and myself, right? Complete and utter freak out reactions. Okay. Like, to be honest with you, I would love to test this now in a controlled way, right?
Mm-hmm.
I go and find somebody, and I'm going to find somebody who doesn't speak the same language as me in another country, and I talk to them over text, and we'll get the names and everything like this, and we'll do it in a way where there's no, and that's not because I doubt you. It's not because I doubt you. It's because this is so fascinating Asria. This is so fascinating. And I have such belief in this that if we can produce a report for somebody who you don't know, who I've never known, and doesn't even speak the same language as us, and we send that report to them and get them to read it and film their reaction, to me, that is going to blow everyone's freaking mind. And again, this isn't from any form of doubt point of view, because you've seen my reaction, you've seen Big Homie's reaction. But man, I just am so blown away and fascinated by everything about you, Asria. Everything about you. The fact that you've dedicated yourself to something that at the start must have made very little sense, but because you've been guided, right? And when I say very little sense, I mean from here is the encyclopedia of the unifier point of view, not from a you believe point of view. Because in the Netflix series of your life, when you do this, it's going to be very Hollywood. You're going to go, and the alien beings are going to appear in front of you in 4K, and they're going to be talking to you. And that's how Hollywood would depict this. But it's the subtleties of all of this that are screaming to me now. It's the always act on your first impressions. Don't allow doubt to settle in. And
110%. Absolutely 110%. And a lot of this does come down to absolute trust in the people and the beings that I'm working with. And that was because that was my ultimate question. So I'd like to understand more, because doing readings for many, many years, it was kind of like there's more of an in-depth information that we could be obtaining from people. And that was really where my first question started. And then it just sort of snowballed from there. So that's when the channeling started coming through, and that's when sort of started working with Beverli on it. And that's when I said it was just time after time, but it was the trust. And it was as soon as that feeling is there, you write it down. It's not, oh, I think that person should have an Alpha Draconian, or oh, I think that person should be whatever. It doesn't matter.
Can I ask you, over time, have you noticed the initial, well, let's say, for example, we're doing the pick a number between 1 and 10, right? And the initial visual of that number, as you've refined your skills, does that initial visual last longer, or is it still to this day just the quick flash and it's more refining your instinct rather than prolonging the vision, if you will?
Depends what being.
Okay.
Some beings will come in quicker because I have been working with them for so long. So like your Lemurians, Palladians, etc. But when it's one, certainly like that we had with Big Homie, there was the terrors that I've had twice, about three times now. Okay. Again, they sometimes stay around a little bit longer. Those non-DNA beings, again, that took a really long time to sort of figure out. So yes, some of them do sort of flash in and out, because I know as soon as that is there, 110%. But yeah, there are others that do either stay around for longer and may have more messages.
So is it almost like is it almost like when an old friend returns, you get that feeling of connection that they're around? You ever felt a presence?
That's a really, really wonderful way of putting it. Yeah.
But it's not like on a conscious level. It's like when you have that weird experience where you turn around because you feel something, or you turn around and there's someone you've not seen for a year and you're like, oh my God. Like, is it that kind of comfort, but on I wouldn't even say subconscious, on a frequency level? I think that's probably the best way of putting it. Because
it starts off with, as I said, that energy around you changes as soon as it's that sort of picked up. Then it sort of vibrates within, and then that's when you get it sort of around you, and then that's when it's kind of like, I know what that is.
Mm-hmm.
And then sometimes, I said, they'll step forward and there'll be a continued message, or sometimes it's no, I know what that is. They don't step forward. Does that answer the question, Ron?
Kind of, but I didn't phrase the question correctly initially. I'm talking about if you and I were sat in a room, right, and we were doing clairvoyance exercises where I wanted to first of all know that I could pick up what you're thinking, right? as I develop that skill set within reading someone's mind, does the initial thought that I'm trying to pull, that instinctual first reaction, does it become prolonged, or is it my instincts to notice it that get heightened? Does that make sense? So imagine it's day one and we're doing, guess a number between 1 and 10. You're thinking of a number and I see the number. If I keep practicing that, is it the number that's going to stay there longer, or is it my skill sets that are going to refine it and honing in on it quicker?
I believe your skill sets that's honing it. And thank you for going through that again. Yes, absolutely. Because to me, it's like a muscle. The more you use.
Yeah, with you.
And again, it comes down to trust as well. So the more you use, the stronger it becomes. So yeah.
I'm with you. So here's my question for you. How easy is it to become attuned that if I am asking you to project something into my head, okay, is it your willingness and my willingness to allow that to happen that allows you to project something into my head? Or can I learn to just walk up behind somebody and fire my intent into them?
You can't do that, no.
Okay, so there's no, and when you say I can't do that, do you mean because morally we can't do that? Or is it because you believe that your will upon that person's mind isn't possible to be intruded upon, or is it just morally wrong?
Yeah, that was the main thing I was going to mention there, is it's around free will. Because remember when I was saying before, when I was trying to get into Big Homie, obviously I didn't realize it was Big Homie at the time. It took me a while to actually get in, and that's the same thing. It doesn't just happen instantaneously. So as much like with the activity that you guys were doing before when Bev put the number 4, it's not, it does take in our time a little bit longer. So it does take not only time, but the main thing is free will. So you might have loads and loads of barriers up. As I said, similar to Big Homie, when I was trying to get in to actually start picking up on those frequencies, it took quite a long time he's got loads and loads of layers. So does that make sense?
It does, but I've got one more follow-up question. What if, in the possession of the person that I'm attempting to do this to, was an artifact or a sigil that, without their knowledge, supersedes their consent? By having it on their person, by acknowledging its existence, they, inadvertently are giving up their will to allow this to happen. Is that a loophole with
the person's holding the sigil, or you're holding it?
No, it's on their person. They've witnessed it. Maybe it's been sent as a bracelet and it's part of the bracelet. Maybe it was projected on a wall in a nightclub. Maybe it was sent to them to view in their home. The reason that I'm asking this is I think it's important that we can figure out ways of doing things that sound horrendous in the grand scheme of what could be the final boss fight of this entire mission. Okay. And for me, I know that I am responsible enough to have the balance to not use anything for the detriment of mankind. And I really feel pushed towards trying to accomplish this.
Yeah, so I think by association, there was certainly an agreement made there, but I'd very much like to maybe ask Beverli to see what her thoughts are on it. But certainly...
and this is strictly from a magical point of view.
Yeah, because I'm not too certain on that. So I'd very much appreciate Beverli's thoughts on that, please.
Maybe this is an offline chat, talking about how thoughts of people's heads through the syndrome. This is an offline chat. Actually, Beverli, change the subject. This is an offline chat.
Okay.
This is an offline chat.
Okay.
In fact, let me get some questions. Oh my God. Do your job, Ron. Okay, right. Sorry, everybody. Okay, here we go. So first of all, we're going to go through all of the super chats. A big homie's not here for this one. And we're going to go into questions now. Okay, what is crunchy energy? Do any of you know what crunchy energy is, ladies? Are you okay? Are you both all right?
I think the crunchy energy, the person might be thinking that there's the popcorn energy. So when you look at the energy there, it sparks and it moves and it for me it looks like little bits of popcorn.
Yeah.
And that's crunchy energy. I'm not quite sure what that refers to. I haven't in sort of the realms that I work in, and possibly the ones that Asria works in. It's not one that I've come across particularly referring to energetics.
Anne, see who asked this. If you're still here, do people often say you have resting B-word face? Do people often say that you've got one of those faces that always makes people feel like you're maybe in a bad mood or upset? Because I think that could be what crunchy energy means. It's like the hard exterior, but when you actually press against it, you're actually a big softie and maybe a bit misconstrued. Because I've experienced a lot of people like that are lovely, but when you look at them, you're like
the resting B word. Yeah, the resting B word energy is there. It has been referred to as a crunchy energy, but that's not a common thing. No.
Okay. Hi, Bev. I was 7 when I witnessed my mother's. Okay, and soon after she visited me, and I think this is from last time. I feel like we answered this one last time.
We
actually
did last time. It's the same one. Yeah. It is the same one.
During sleep, I lifted into a dark room on a table, no skin on bed. Whoa. Tall dark figures around me, picking me up my organs with sticks. Said, "Get out of here in Jesus' name." Instantly back in bed. Alien abduction. People. What do you think?
It could be either an alien abduction, or it could be one of the different types that are not off-world abductions, that are more the greys. By the sounds of it, for me that sounds more like one of the greys, but since before they were taken off-world and given their own planet and moved away because they're not here anymore.
Well, I want to throw one in too, because maybe I've had 7 or 8 Capri Suns and I'm feeling spicy. Tall dark figures to me, and in your sleep, I believe that the shadow people are misconstrued. And I believe that by feeding on your fear in your dreams, they give you plausible deniability. So if it's tall, dark figures that look like big shadowy things, there's a very good chance this is just a hungry little guy popping in for a snack, terrifying you in your sleep, and having himself a little Lunchable. So you can either have that as more terrifying or less terrifying, but that's my take on it. Asria, you got any take on that, or where do you kind of stand with the tall figures in the night?
No, I would absolutely agree with Bev's take on that.
Sure. Like I say, I don't know what I'm talking about, and I've had 7 or 8 Capri Suns, so I'm doing my best. I just want to be involved. Okay,
Capri Suns are good. The orange juices are available.
It's not really Capri Sun though, Bev. I'm just saying that for the algorithm. Okay, I had to have like 6 of them to calm my nerves while Big Homie and I were freaking out, mate. Like, it's cold.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay, Big Homie, you're not here, but Joe Mama send some groovy vibes your way. When I was visited, I was told the key was in my DNA and blood. I am AB negative. What keys are there, and what am I using for them for other greatest goods? I'm sorry if I butchered that.
Yeah, well, Shannon, the AB negative is very, very rare blood group. So it's one of the savior blood groups. So your blood group can mix with any of the other blood groups very successfully and save individuals. So there's a whole bunch of other things that are part of the not AB negative only, but all of the negative blood groups are H negative blood groups. There are different areas, and they all track back to the original colonizers of what I call Earth School.
Okay. I just want to say, everybody freaking out that I've not got to your question. Okay. I'm just one guy. All right. I'm just one guy. Also, stop asking questions just now, because we're answering questions and Ron can't see the questions when we're answering questions. So it's a whole, oh yeah, no, it just says my question was never answered. Maybe throw your question up again. Okay, let's go back up here. Okay. Have you noticed animals behave? Oh, I think that was to Big Homie. That was to Big Homie.
I was going to say, with the Big Homie was talking about the cats and the cat energy. With his energy, I'm pretty sure that the kitties was being feline. I think the kitties definitely would have a different reaction, curling around them with their tails and saying hello, because they do recognize their own people. So I know he's not here to answer that, but hi to Australia, or the clients we have in Australia. And yeah, I would imagine definitely they behave differently around Big Homie, the big feline.
From what I can sense right now, this guy has never had more swagger in his step. Big Homie is walking with a very healthy new whisper of secret arrogance on the world. And I don't mean that in a bad way. I just mean like he's walking around now going, freaking energy beings that no one's ever seen before, baby. Do you know what I mean? And it's I'm just so pleased for him. Right. Okay. Now
I'm just so pleased that he's all right now, and that, you know, he's obviously on the path to healing, and he's a lot better, because yesterday, oh my goodness, we were all very scared for him.
I mean, that's never happened between you and I, babe, before. Do you know what I mean? And it was a moment. Now here's an interesting one. Stop being scared of 666. I never said I was afraid of it. I said it was a good identifying number if you want to make somebody think in a mainstream way demonic or evil. So it wasn't about fearing it. It was about, if it was to be used, if you were only able to use numbers, how would you signal a demonic spirit if you were a spirit guide? Do you know what I mean? That was my point. So here we go. My sister died 31 years ago. Sorry to hear that, Chantel. When I was 15, I always felt her around me. It was amazing. Then my mum died 8 years ago, and I haven't felt my sister since. My mum was an evil woman. Could you be talking? Now, I just want to say Chantel is actually an awesome community member on Discord, and is very much part of the clan, if you will. So anything you could do for her would be much appreciated.
So Chantal, obviously, sorry for your double loss, your mum and your sister. That's quite a difficult one. And for all those that are experiencing any grief at the moment, it is a difficult time. Christmas is very hard because of the energies around Christmas, and automatically throws you back into your lovely memories, which are great. So Chantal, I would say with this, I don't think that your mum could actually block your sister from coming through. I do think that at some point, some of the spirits and souls, they do start moving and changing. They're not going to be with you all the time, and they do start making changes, and they do start learning and moving forward on their side of the divide. So if your mum was an evil woman, as you said, she will be going through all of that, looking at her life, dissecting her life, reading the Akashic records, understanding why she made the choices that she made, and coming to terms with all sorts of things from her life that's very separate to your sister. So I think, just remember her in your prayers, and just say, if you are there, please try to make yourself known, because I miss you. Because really, that message to me has an energy that actually you really miss your sister. Is Ron on mute?
Yeah, Ron is definitely on mute because he was talking. And yeah.
And we couldn't see you. Okay.
Now, DM me and give me some updates, because there's some stuff that's coming very, very soon. Anyway, shut up, Ron. We're doing questions. Hi, Bev. Does Anubis often show up to protect folk? He did for me. There was a presence of evil. Long story. So Anubis.
Yeah, Theos, and the DM explained. Yeah, the Anubis energy does come around a lot. We've seen all different forms. There's blue ones that we've seen. We've seen black ones. What else have we seen? Oh, we've seen a couple of really big ones. When I was in Egypt, we saw the Anubis a lot. So yes, definitely a protection, and also one that stands in front of individuals, which is quite nice. So absolutely, yes.
Here's an absolute banger. Can you please make this a long answer, because I need to quickly go to the bathroom again, and it's a dire emergency. So ladies, you're on your own for about 4 minutes.
We're on our own. Okay, you just go to the little boy's room. Okay, so this one is from Sequoia, and Sequoia is saying, I can see spirits coming out of Homie's third eye and Bev's third eye. Why am I seeing this, and what does this mean? I have to pause to see it. So for the first point, it's unusual to see entities and spirits coming out of someone's third eye normally. they impress upon individuals and you see them behind. I don't know, Asria, have you ever seen somebody seeing entities coming out of a third eye? That's a new one on me.
No, I was going to say that I would agree. That's quite a new one, and also working even like with off-worlders and stuff. As I was saying, you certainly feel it around you. There's hardly ever anything in front. So,
yeah. So yeah, I think if you're seeing that, it could be a trickster, or it could be something that's trying to show you something, to perhaps change your mind on certain things. But in all the time I've been doing this, in 44 years, I've never seen a spirit coming out of somebody's third eye. They've always appeared either to the side or behind. I've never actually seen anything other than light or a lotus flower type of energy coming out of that. Why are you seeing it? What does it mean? I think you need to look at what could the areas be. What is necessary for you to see it in that particular way, and then look at what does the third eye actually look like. So start perhaps going in and feeling that particular chakra point. See if it's moving to the left, if it's moving to the right, or moving up and down. So there's definitely something. If you're seeing that a level of activity, what do you think, Asria, over the third eye? You know, what are you getting? Because I know you do a lot of chakra cleansing and clearing too.
I was just about to say that the one message I was definitely getting is that it could be more or less like a mirror image. So as much as you're seeing it in somebody else, is that it could, sort of following on from what you were just saying there, Beverli, is that it could be to do with like your own. So it could be sometimes, if you're quite a visual person, we're sometimes shown things rather than if we can feel them. So I'm not saying this is definitely yours, but the messages that I'm certainly getting is that maybe kind of like look at yours, and yeah, absolutely, as Beverli was saying, is it moving in the right direction? Are there any attachments there? Are there any blockages there for your own? Because certainly seeing it from somebody else doesn't necessarily resonate too much. So with like any chakra stuff, maybe have a look at either coming, say, to myself to look at, see if getting it cleared, or indeed just do things with look at the different frequencies, start playing those around you and things, just to sort of balance and maybe calm yours down a little bit. But certainly I'm getting that mirror image is
mirroring.
What
Yeah,
I hope that helps.
Yeah, so going back to sort of, just as an aside, segueing into the piece about chakra points and energies, etc. When we're looking at the different points, when you're busy with the alien DNA particularly, did you find with any of the chakra points, did you notice over the last 3 years, did you notice where some of that energy starts coming through? Is there an area in your body and in your chakra points where you start feeling that energy more? Can you give us a bit of sort of insight into that?
Oh, absolutely. No, thank you so much for asking that. 100% that it's in the sacral and solar plexus. That is the first, to me, there is a feeling to know that you have connected to that person. So there is a particular feeling to know, yep, okay, you're there and you're in, so that energy can start flowing. And then it comes in, it sort of like comes in and then around. So it's almost like having a bit of a knot sort of in your solar plexus. Then as soon as you let it go, it's fine.
It is fine.
So,
that's a really good, that's a good way. Good way
Thank
of
you,
explaining it.
Thank you, ladies, for holding the fort as well. I just checked in the wonderful Dan. Still no baby, but we're getting there. Okay, everyone, if you want to start asking questions now, originally we did answer your question last time, just so that you know. So if you maybe go, I'm sorry to not go through it again, but we've got so many more questions to go through. Okay, good morning, Beverli Rhodes. I was SA at 8 years old. Was I an abuser in my past life and had to come back to learn what I've done? Much love from the UK. Wow, that is a deep one.
Thank you, Jean. It's a difficult one. So they do say with SA survivors, they do have a tendency to perpetuate and continue with something very similar. So from that point of view, it could be a past life, ancestral aspect where you've dragged it through from all these other lives. It's possible. I think it's always good to have to do some sort of, a Dolores Cannon QHHT type of hypnosis where you go into past lives and have a good look. That would certainly make a lot of sense. You'd be able to have a look at it and see what it was. And if you were a person who was involved with SA in your past life, you can then come to terms with it and clear it and then send it back into the Akashic records.
I don't know if this one is as easy as just, will my son be successful, to just give that sort of an answer out there. But Beverli's website is scrolling along the bottom here. If you'd like to go in depth with things like that, I'm sure she'd be more than happy to offer her services.
Yeah, Patrice, we would love to meet you in the hour, and it would be really nice to do some reading. Certainly, maybe we're thinking of doing like a Christmas special or something. So,
yeah. Also, as well, I'm a content creator. I do lots of different things. I very much would love to just focus on Beverli, this journey, all the other aspects. We're doing crime theory on a Sunday now, all this kind of stuff. Yeah, so put a one in the side chat if you guys are okay with that kind of direction with all of this, because I think we're really collectively on a journey here. Sonia, hello. I see flashes of my relatives alive and passed around my house. Why would I see my son who is still living? Residual energy, dimensional perhaps, or I don't know.
I think so. Thank you, Sonia, for the, I think it's $9 from what I can see. That's lovely. Thank you so much. Flashes of the relatives. Remember, energy and frequencies bounce. And as you can see from my picture that's been created, this was Big Homie's energetics that we were looking at yesterday, which is what we shared to show these are the striations and these are the energies that I was getting while he was going through his difficult time. So the flashes would be people that have passed around the house, and they would bounce off you. And you get the frequencies, they bounce from wall and then back up again and then continually move. So that's why you're seeing them within your house, because obviously that residue of the energy is still in there.
Yeah. Well, speaking of energy, I've just realized it's 1:15 in the morning. I'm sitting here as if we're going to do a massive Q&A. Sorry, side chat, but I'm pulling the mercy card on these two ladies because they have been up very early. They both have businesses to run and have clients in the morning. And what I will say is Beverli and I are becoming very aware, and I'm sure Asria is too, of how excited this community is, how many of you want more content like this. So please understand, it's a week before Christmas. We'll do our best. But going into January, baby, you are going to have overdose levels of all of this, okay? And I'm really looking forward to it. And I know a lot of you are just waiting to be able to support the ladies and join the patrons, and that's all coming. I just want to say, Asria, I cannot wait to get a message from you when you tell me that your first dinner party's been booked. I can't wait.
You will be the first person to know, Ron.
That's the one. Like that is the one. Like that's the one. Do you know what I mean? It's just so cool. It's so cool.
Yeah.
I'm assuming Beverli's
battery,
or she's just launched several mind bullets from the Jedi mind into the. And I don't even know what I'm talking about. Listen, I'm exhausted. So listen, we will just close ourselves, Asria. Thank you so much for being as open and as awesome with all of your gifts as you are. Your gifts. Oh, here we go. Beverli Rhodes is back. Your gifts, and as well as your.
And we're back.
Your journey. Yeah, we're back. Are you drinking a Japanese Fanta grape?
Yeah.
Yeah, all right, nice, respect. All right, everyone, I will see you all. And honestly, I love grape soda. Right? Some people hate it, but I'm honestly, it's the one thing the Americans need to import over here. No one cares, Ron. Okay, like and subscribe, share. Okay, bye. I'm honestly, I'm done. Catch you later. Love you all. Peace. Oh no, wait. Jaguar Right. We've got the big Wednesday night. Then we've got Jaguar Right on Friday. We've got Jaguar Right on Wednesday. Just in case you didn't know, everybody, we've got oh no, I've lost it. I had it already, but I've lost it. Never mind. Jaguar Right on Wednesday. Also Jaguar Right on Friday. Lots of streams, the documentary. And yeah, love you guys. Freaking awesome. Okay. Right,
Sleep well, everyone.
Come on.